Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. I'm your host tonight, Jared Carrabis. We got Tyler here. We got Pat here. We got Jake here. No Pete because it's playoff time. Maybe Pete is the problem. Maybe Pete's the problem. But I will say this. I just walked back from Fenway Park. I was at the game tonight with Fandango, who you may know if you're a wrestling fan. Great guy. Huge Red Sox fan. I was at the game with him and his dad. They live about an hour and a half up in Maine, kind of near Portland. So he grew up a Sea Dogs fan, which made him a Red Sox fan. And let me tell you, the vibes at Fenway, they're changing, baby. They're changing. And I tried to tell Maz this. I did the baseball hour on 98.5, the Sports Hub, before the game. And Maz said, what's your main takeaway? What's your final take here? And I was like, you know what, Maz? The fucking season's not over. Because while Maz was hooting and hollering about how, the Red Sox have played so great over the last week. And then the word he used, and I laughed, but it was a funny word, got pasted last night. Got pasted by the Houston Astros. Gave up 5 home runs in 1 inning plus a grand slam to put the cherry on top. And he said, this momentum. I was like, Matt, if the Red Sox win tonight, they still win the fucking series. That's back-to-back series wins, Maz. And you know what they did tonight, Tyler?
What'd they do, Jared?
They won the fucking series. And it wasn't one of those games where it's like, all right, the Red Sox maybe squeaked one out or they got away with one or maybe the other team beat themselves. No, that's not what happened. Is it, Pat? Nope. It, Pat? Is that what happened?
Not what happened.
That's not what happened. The Red Sox beat the Houston Astros, who, by the way, had just won 11 straight games prior to coming to Boston. 11 straight games. They were in first place at the time. Maybe now they're not. I haven't checked the standings, if we're being honest. I don't know if they're still in first, but they were when they came in. And Nick Pivetta just unzipped his pants and dropped the hammer of Thor penis that he has on the mound at Fenway Park in a complete game, 2 hit, 1 run, which was a leadoff home run. Doesn't matter. Doesn't count, in my opinion. I'm not counting that home run. So it was a complete game, 2-hit shutout. It could have been a 1-hit shutout. Let's just, because that was what, a 13 pitch at bat, Jose Altuve?
Was it 13? Was it 10?
Let's just say for effect, it was a 20 pitch at bat.
30.
30 pitch at bat. Leadoff homer. All right, throw it out. Doesn't count. It was a complete game, 1-hit shutout with 8 strikeouts for Nick Pivetta to say, hey, by the way, this is the theme that we're going to go with, just so that everyone knows who listens to this podcast, everyone who's on this podcast, this is what we're going with. We're not telling people that the Red Sox are back. We're not telling people that. I don't want to proclaim that. I think we can all, as a society here, understand that. We can kind of look at each other and give each other the look like, hey, you know, but don't say it. You know, but don't say it. Jake knows, but don't say it. And if you're listening to this, you can go to your job tomorrow morning. You're going to go see Chuck in accounting. He's a huge Red Sox fan. He's from Dorchester. Guy's been going to Fenway Park for the last 15 years on his own dime. You guys are going to give each other a look, and he's going to give you that look back. And you know what that look means? It means the Sox are back, but we're not saying it. We're not saying it. It's not time to say it. It's not time to say it. Pat, are the Red Sox back? He's not saying it. He's just not saying it. Tyler, I'm going to ask you straight up. Are the Red Sox back?
I won't answer that. I'll put it simply. I regrew my penis tonight.
Yeah, see?
That's it.
Jake, let me ask you. Simple question, right? It's a simple question. Most people would say that this is a yes or no question. Are the Red Sox back?
I can't comment on that at this time.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. And it won't be said here. And it shouldn't be said by anyone that's listening to this podcast. We can all agree. We all know the thing. But no one's saying the thing. We're just going to keep it running. Because Tyler, tell me what you said before we went on the air about the schedule.
Look at it right now. What this game meant today. Not enough people were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off Texas, you finally won a series. Things were coming. Momentum was here. You lose tonight, you still haven't won a series at Fenway Park. You're coming up against two teams, the Mariners, the White Sox, both sputtering, but similar to you, playoff aspirations, much better than how you've performed. Those aren't going to be easy series. You needed momentum going into those. You got that momentum tonight. What's coming after those next two series? Shitbag teams. You're going to play the A's. You're going to play the Reds. You got a 5-game series against the Orioles. This is where the run begins. If you were going to get hot, if you were going to have that Yankees-esque run so you could get to 500 come June at some point, which was the plan. That's what we talked about. Get to 500, then the reinforcements come. Then Chris Sale's coming. James Paxton, we'll see. Hopefully Josh Taylor's ready by then. Tristan Cassis, we can start looking at those things. Jarren Duran, shutout, hit a home run today as well. Hitting 340. This is the pathway back. You got back on the road today. And it all started with Nick Pivetta's dick. Dropping it on the Astros' forehead.
It all started with Nick Pivetta's dick. It did. Pat.
Yeah.
Did you watch the game tonight?
I did.
What were your impressions? Give me the Pat Light vibe check.
You know, the thing that I was watching this game tonight with Nick Pivetta, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into actual serious baseball.
For some reason, your mic's really low.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Right, Jake?
Yeah, it's a little bit low.
It's a little
Okay.
low. Yeah, hit me with some gain.
I don't even know how to do that. Hold on, I got it. Audio settings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's max it out.
Yeah, let's see
It's
what we got.
maxed.
Yeah,
Whoa.
you're good right now. Yeah, that's
Perfect.
good.
All right,
Different
welcome
path.
back. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into baseball. Nick
Okay.
Pivetta, and this is what you look for as a guy who's had a 4.3 going into the night.
Yeah, he had he had a 245 in his last 4 starts.
Yeah. The thing was with Nick Pivetta, he's a lankier guy. I don't think he's huge, but he's a little bit of a lankier guy, but everything was on time for him tonight. Like his arm was never behind him. And that's something that I struggled a lot with in my career. That curveball is devastating when that arm is on time. It's almost impossible to hit. And you see Christian Vasquez even back there. If you watch the game from home, you'll see Vasquez actually go in between whether or not it's going to be on the ground or it's not, because he's not sure because of how much it moves. Pivetta just looked awesome. He said he put his dick on the fucking forehead of the Astros. It was just a really fucking good baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
And we took 2 out of 3. It's the Red Sox team. I got a lot of shit yesterday on Twitter for the absolute ass pounding that the Red Sox took yesterday. That game was meaningless. I mean, you have Nathan Eovaldi, who's an ace in Major League Baseball, had an aberration of a game and got smoked. I mean, yeah, he's given up more home runs this year than he almost has all of last year, but the guy's still a fucking stud. Like, if we're going to lose, like, that's one of those games you walk into the clubhouse afterwards, you're like, that one sucked. But, like, no one gives a shit.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, that's not going to happen maybe one more time all year. So you don't give a fuck about that. That's not, people talk about that. It's you lost momentum. It's not a momentum loser. A momentum loser is losing one at the end of the game when you're fucking struggling. You finally have something and something goes wrong. That's a game that everyone goes home and is like, well, that was terrible. I don't even know what happened out there. Like, it's not a game you lose momentum on. So today to come back and Pivetta to show that obviously that's exactly what that was yesterday, and us to hit. I mean, the Red Sox are playing good baseball. They've played great baseball for the last 2 weeks. Listen, this team is not going to go away. We're not the Yankees quite yet, but if you think that we can't make a run at the AL East, or more so probably a wild card because of how bad the start was, I mean, you're an idiot. This team's good.
Team's good, Pat.
Team's good.
It's a good fucking baseball team.
Good fucking team.
It's a good fucking team, and they just beat a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Twice in 3 tries.
And a team that a lot of people were talking about, it was the team that was going to compete with the Yankees in the American League this year.
Sure. And
Especially early
they
on.
are.
Yeah.
They're right there. Hang with them. And I think, to your point, you go out there and you have one of those fucking losses like when Salomon chucked the ball up the fucking left field line, or you have a 3-run lead against Toronto and blow that, or you're 1 strike away from beating the Angels and then you end up losing that game by 7 runs or whatever the fuck it was. Those are the losses that you wake up the next morning feeling hungover, even if you haven't had a sip of alcohol. Those are the losses where you feel like it's a kick in the dick. The loss in the middle game of this series, it's frustrating. And I mean, like, you knew the game was over by like what, the 4th inning? What was the 5-homer inning? Was it the 4th?
Second.
The second inning? When was the grand slam? The 4th?
Yeah, the 4th.
Okay. So once the Astros had gotten to about the 13-run mark, then you can kind of look towards tomorrow and be like, hey, if we win tomorrow, we still win this series. I was streaming with Lou Merloni for the game last night, the middle game. And I mean, yeah, it sucks to watch the Astros hit 5 home runs in an inning and Kyle Tucker to hit a grand slam, 2 homers on the day. Yeah, it sucks to see that, but it does not hit the same way as losing when you should have won. Like, that's a game. Like, once the Astros hit 6 homers, you're sitting yourself being like, man, it would take a colossal, unfortunate circumstance for the Astros to lose this game. Like, you're not sitting there being like, damn, I mean, I kind of thought that too. I was like, well, if you take out the 9-run second, it's a tie game. You just take out that second inning, baby. Red Sox got a dub here. But yeah, it sucks, but it's not debilitating. And in no shape or form should it carry over into that series finale. It didn't. And the Red Sox set the tone early by, we talked about the Jose Altuve leadoff homer. Okay. So home runs were the theme of the series when you had Nathan Eovaldi give up 5 in 1 inning. And then you have Nick Pivetta go out there trying to win the rubber match, and he gives up a home run to Jose Altuve to lead off the game. And you're sitting there being like, here we go again. And then fucking Rafael Devers with the triple. And then you have Julio hit one in the corner. Great catch by Kyle Tucker. But guess what? It's a fucking sacrifice fly, dipshit. And then you have Xander Bogaerts come up there. Fucking wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Another ding dong for the captain of the Boston Red Sox.
Pay him.
And now you're going into it being like, hey, we got ourselves a lead here. Got ourselves a lead. And did they protect that lead? Yup. Did they add on to that lead? Yup. They sure did. It wasn't a game that the Astros lost. It was a game that the Red Sox and Nick Pivetta won. It was a series win. And it was a back-to-back series win. We were talking the other day about how we can't even get the Red Sox to win 2 consecutive games. We're kind of still there. Like they still haven't won 3 games in a row. I'm not going to be, picky choosy guy here, but I would much rather not win back-to-back games, and I'll take the back-to-back series wins. Fine, take it.
You're doing what Alex Cora always tells you. What's the main key? We win series. You win series, everything takes care of itself. Does it not? That's where you are right now. Back-to-back series wins. You're in a good opportunity to face 2 teams coming up that, props to the Mariners. They finally won, but, the Blue Jays just took 2 out of 3 from them. The White Sox are going through their own personal hell. Why not? Why can't you? You have Nick Pivetta. He's walked 1 guy this month. 1 guy. That Nick Pivetta.
That.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Pat. But that's the kind of stuff right here. This is a guy who struggled with command, who had these issues. What was one of the main storylines before the season? Could Nick Pivetta make that jump? Could he become that more mid-rotation starter than back-end guy? Is that not what we're seeing right now? 7 innings against Texas, 6 innings against Chicago. This is it. We're seeing the evolution of Nick Pivetta right now. Guy threw the first Red Sox complete game since 2019. We're talking,
is that right?
Yes, pre-Tommy John, Chris Sale.
Jesus Christ.
That's how long. Mookie Betts was on that team. Mookie Betts was still a Red Sox.
The last time the Red Sox had a complete game, huh? I don't think I would have guessed that. Honestly, if you were to pose it as a trivia question, when was the last time a Red Sox pitcher threw a complete game? I probably would have said Rick Porcello against the Yankees in that 4-game sweep. That's the last one I can recall.
Not bad. Yeah, this one was against the Royals, so nobody was going to remember that.
Yeah. It was actually pretty similar to this Pivetta start. I want to say Porcello gave up a solo homer to Miguel Andujar, and that might have been the only run that he gave up. Maybe, I don't want to say the only hit. I'm going to have to go back and look at that box score. Let's see, 2018 Red Sox. What a fucking year. What a ball club that was. The 2018 Boston Red Sox. All right, let's go to August. August. I mean, it should be easy to find. It was a 4-game sweep against the team that won 100 games. Oh, it was right here. Okay, so that was Porcello. It was a 4-1 victory on Friday, August 3rd. And Rick Porcello, that was the only hit. Huh. Rick Porcello gave up, it was 9 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 9 strikeouts, and it was a home run by Miguel Andujar in the 3rd inning. Yep. That's the last one I remember.
Look at us now.
Yeah. Look at us now. Look at us now, this team. Is this the first time that we've recorded a podcast after a win?
Oh my God.
I think it has to be.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
Detroit?
No,
Had to-
Atlanta.
We split in Atlanta.
But we won the last game, didn't we?
No, we won the first
game.
We won the first game.
before Brazier shit his pants.
Yes. Let me see,
I'm looking at the schedule
2022.
now.
Has to be Detroit, right?
Detroit was a win.
Detroit was coming off of a win?
We won the last game 9-7.
I don't remember that at all. That was the game that Eddie. That's when there was still hope. The Red Sox were 3-3,
And we won the last game against the Yankees, the first series of the year.
Oh, yep.
but that doesn't count when it's fucking. They lost the first 2.
We hadn't been traumatized yet.
Yeah, we were like, all right, tough series to start the year, but
Took one.
yeah, the Red Sox had a winning record. What?
Crazy
Couple
times.
The Red Sox had a winning record. They were 5-4,
Mm-hmm.
and they were 6-5. Interesting. I did not. I mean, if you put a gun to my head and said, "Hey, have the Red Sox had a winning record at any point this year?" I'd be like, obviously not. No chance. Twice. I guess I didn't. You know, it's that old saying of you wish you knew that you were in the good old times when you were in them. And I mean, I feel like good times are ahead. Good times are ahead with this team, Pat. You want to tell me that? You want to tell me right now that this team isn't capable of, by June, I don't want to put an unrealistic number on it, but let's say June 28th. June 28th, do the Red Sox have a winning record? Do you have the fucking balls to say that the Red Sox will have a winning record by June 28th, Pat?
Do I have the balls to say that? See, now I fancy myself on this podcast as a guy who's going to be extraordinarily realistic with this club.
Okay, I fucking said the Red Sox were going to take 2 out of 3 from a red hot Houston Astros first place club, and guess what they did?
That's
if
great.
you were here last week, if you were here for the last episode, and I said Red Sox 2 out of 3, you would have said you're full of shit.
You don't know that. I wasn't here.
Oh, I know that.
I like that. Listen, I have been probably the most positive person on this podcast for the last week and a half with this club.
You haven't been on the fucking podcast for a week and a half.
Hence my positivity.
Listen, what would you have picked? You would have said the Red Sox were either going to win 1 out of 3 or get swept against the Astros. Let's be honest.
Incorrect.
You would have, Patrick.
Incorrect.
You would have said the Red Sox were going to get 2 out of 3.
I would have. I don't know exactly what I would have picked, but I would have said 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3. No doubt about it.
Oh, so,
They're
see
not
the
getting
doubt.
swept.
The doubt alone. Jared, did you even doubt for a second?
No, I don't
And
even
you doubted
think,
they'd win a game.
I don't think I hesitated at all. Jake, did I hesitate when I said 2 out of 3?
No, not even a little.
No,
Let's-
I didn't even fucking think about it.
Let's go to the tape for the past month and a half and see who's been more right. Let's do it.
Wow.
I think I saw some social media posts talking about how right I am all the time.
No one likes someone that gloats.
Oh, I gloat my ass off.
Yeah. I don't look at, I'm sure there's plenty of people tweeting at me being like, dude, you're right all the time about everything that you say. But I haven't been looking at my mentions. I was trying to figure out a way how to word this. I was trying to draft this as a tweet, and I was like, I don't think that I can find the words Twitter wise to say this, but I'm going to try to explain it on the podcast. Okay. So, when the Red Sox are bad, which they have been for a majority of the year, but now they're not anymore, but we're not talking about it. When I wake up in the morning, I feel hungover, even if I haven't had a drop of alcohol. If the Red Sox, it's kind of like when you're in college and you get absolutely shit-faced, and then you wake up in the morning and the first thing you're trying to do is piece together your night. Like, what the fuck happened last night? Like, what did I do? Like, did I send any like fucking text messages? Or like, oh man, who did I go home with? And for me as an adult, it's the Red Sox. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is like, did we win last night? Oh no, we didn't. And then like you check your phone, and I just have like fucking like 300 tweets of people telling me to kill myself and go fuck your team and you last place, fucking loser. Just like that's how you know that my brain has improved from like a mental strength standpoint, is because that's how I start my day every day for the last, call it 2 months, basically. I wake up every day and I read about 150 to 300 tweets of people saying really mean things about me and hoping that that I'm having a terrible day. And I've only been conscious for a few seconds by that point. And then that's how I begin the day. And we're going to start to see that change. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and we need Red Sox fans to fucking get more like figure it the fuck out. Like, start getting more positive about this goddamn team, because I will say this: when the Red Sox lose, there is no shortage of hatred in my fucking mentions. When the Red Sox win, it's almost like everyone is like, thank God we can take a breath. Like, celebrate these victories. Celebrate these victories. They need the positive reinforcement. They need the positive vibes and the positive energy. Because it's almost like a ghost town. It's like when the Red Sox win, the haters can't say anything because they won. But where is the positive fucking energy? Let's fucking get it going, Pat. The fuck?
I'm not a doctor, clearly, but
Yep.
if you
look like you could be one.
Potentially, I'm working towards it. But, last time we were all here, well, at least me and Pat and Jake, obviously. Jared, you were sick. You were deathly ill. And, the Red Sox came in. They won a series. They won another series. Can you say something for me?
Sure.
Couple words.
Sure.
More than that.
I'm not sick right now. I'm kind of like, my voice is a little hoarse.
You sound great.
Do I?
You've come around.
I've come around. I mean, like, I think I died for this team. Like, I suffered for this team. And with my sickness leaving my body, so has the suck has left the Red Sox.
The Red Sox saved your life.
Yeah. And yes.
And that's what the haters, these people on Twitter who are sobbing daily, giving up on this team, let the Red Sox in.
Yeah, let them in.
They're not going to hurt you anymore. Not like this. They'll be
but they won't.
There'll be ups and downs. There's always ups and downs. Any great journey is going to have them.
Right.
But from this point on, more ups than downs.
More ups and downs. And to what we were saying earlier, if you didn't love us at our April, you don't deserve us in our June. Because June, there's going to be a party in June, okay? It's going to be the Red Sox Renaissance Party. And Pat Light's hosting it at McSwilbo's. It's actually at 2 different venues. It's at McSwilbo's and it's at Green Rock. And we're pre-gaming at Big Sam's Sushi. I'm excited for that personally because we deserve this. what we didn't deserve was the repetitive dick kicking that we took for the first, how many weeks? 7 weeks?
That math sounds correct.
Fucking, like, what did we do to deserve that? But I will say this, in talking to some of the players, I don't think that they ever really lost confidence. I don't think that those guys were like, man, we suck. Maybe next year. You heard Xander Bogaerts was one of the first guys to publicly say, I don't know what the fuck is going on because we are a good team. We're just not playing like it right now. Kevin Plawecki, he is the heart and soul of the Boston Red Sox. Same thing. Was like, I don't get it. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're a good team. Why are we playing like this? It was confusing. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say after back-to-back series wins, it does feel good. Feels good to, I mean, not that the Texas Rangers are world beaters by any means, but that was what I thought the White Sox series at Fenway was going to be.
Get right.
It was
series.
like here comes a team that's struggling. Let's fucking kick their dicks and hopefully build up some confidence and use that to go on a little bit of a run here. And then the Red Sox got swept. That's what I'm hoping this Texas Rangers series was. Like, all right, we got a bad team. Take 2 out of 3. Would have been nice to sweep. Ryan Brazier had other plans. And then you have the Houston Astros who come in and it's like, well, damn. I mean, this team is real good. That sucks that we can't really build the momentum coming off that 2 out of 3 against the Texas Rangers. Well, guess what? Negative Nancy's. Red Sox won that series too. So that's what it takes. Like this, on top of this, on top of this, on top of this. Next thing you know, it's June, what did I say, 28th?
June 28th.
June 28th, you got a fucking winning record.
The biggest thing here is the way they're winning these games. Every single game, even the ones they won, but majority of the ones they were losing were 1-run games, 2-run games, where every pitch was high leverage at the end of these games. And we know what the weakness of this team is. It's clear. It's the bullpen. And you were just begging, asking for it constantly every single night to carry you through. You haven't been doing that lately. The last 2 series, you haven't put that pressure. The offense has woke up. Kike Hernandez, a little 5-game hitting streak. It's a beautiful thing. Franchi Cordero, didn't have a hit tonight. Drawn walks. Trevor Story, a walk in 5 straight games. Christian Vasquez, blooper into center. It doesn't take much. When you have Rafael Devers hitting, 340 or whatever he's hitting right now. You have JD Martinez, who just lost his hitting streak. Credit to him. I've never seen him run faster in his life than he did in the 7th inning. That's the difference. You have these kind of bats. Bogart's going deep. If you can just give them a little support. Do you see how scary this offense can be? Like, this is what everyone dreamed on. This is why, as you said, these players, they sat here. They didn't understand how they could be this bad. It just takes a little support. We know what the rotation is. They're going to pitch their ass off. And guess what? Michael Walk is coming back.
He is.
You got your first reinforcement. You bridged that gap.
So I'm looking at this right now. Quick little math for you. As we've mentioned many, many times, the Red Sox have blown 9 saves this season. The major league average per team, I think, was somewhere around 3. So I said, what if you had a half decent closer? And I'm not saying save all. I'm not saying save all 9. Let's say the Red Sox save 6 of those 9 blown saves. What would their record be? 21-16. You feeling good about that team? 21-16 would have you in 3rd place, ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays, who have a comparable run differential to the Red Sox. The Toronto Blue Jays have a -12 run differential. The Red Sox have a -14 run differential. And it doesn't help that they got their dicks blown off in the middle game of this Astros series. So really, I mean, you've been about what the Toronto Blue Jays have been, who are only 2 games over 500. So you'd be 21-16, which I believe would put you a game and a half behind the Rays.
Correct.
So all that to say, the Red Sox are not as bad as I think the vibe has been. I think the Yankees getting off to a 28-9 start surely puts a damper. I mean, they just don't fucking lose. They don't lose. Even when they win, they'll have like last night, Aroldis Chapman comes in and stinks up the joint. And Yankee fans are like, man, we're fucking playing 750 ball right now, but man, do we got problems in the ninth inning? It's like, fuck you. Has Chapman, that was like the first runs that like Chapman has given up all season. They're just like trying to find things to like worry about because their team hasn't even fucking reached double-digit losses yet, and we're almost in fucking June. Fuck all of you. But yeah, I mean, I just think that, you get Michael Wacha back. I'm not holding on to the whole James Paxton, Chris Sale thing. I think, it feels very much to me like last year, where whatever you get from those guys is a bonus. I'm not factoring in shit from those two. I want to see Heim put his nuts on the table at the deadline this year. Give Heim a reason to put his nuts on the table this year. Put him in a position to where you are within striking distance or potentially holding a wild card spot by the trade deadline. Is that possible? Yes, it actually is possible. I know that people gave up on the Red Sox in fucking late April, which I get it. It was not a good time to be a Red Sox fan. It was not a fun time to be a Red Sox fan. You had the Bruins in the playoffs. You had the Celtics in the playoffs. You got other options. You have other feel-good options if you're a Boston sports fan. But as it pertains to this Red Sox team, can they get back in it? Yeah, they can. And they do have the talent to do it. And they wouldn't be overachieving if they had a fucking winning record. And you do have these other teams in the division that maybe aren't as good as they were supposed to be. Kind of like you. So we'll fucking see. Pat, where's your fucking optimistic? Where's your optimism meter right now?
10 being the max optimism.
Yes.
I'm like a 9. I think
you're fucking 9. Pat.
I think the team is. I think the team is very good. You didn't let me answer the question, but I would have told you that I believe by the end of June this team is at very least a 500 club. They're a good baseball team, and they don't have much of anything.
To say winning record.
They'll have a winning record. Does that make you feel better?
Yes.
Okay. And they're not playing really anyone. I mean, they got the Angels in the second week of the month, but I mean, if they can go and win series the way they should be able to win, we'll be in a good position, And I think that we dug ourselves a bit of a hole. That's really where we're at. But that's really all we're at. And if you were a negative Nancy in April, I mean, you don't really have. I mean, it's Boston. That's how Boston is. It's always been that way. But the Red Sox. If you can't look at this team and be like, okay, well, the way they're losing, like Tyler talked about the way they're winning. You always look at how you lose. And they're losing one-run ball games because they don't have a defined guy in the back end of the bullpen. You're asking guys to do a role, do a job that they don't do. So you're in Boston. You're supposed to have a premier closer, and you don't right now for whatever reason. They didn't make a priority this year. The whole time I was like, all right, we're a closer away, or we're starters who are pitching their balls off right now. We're starters away from shortening these ball games and allowing the offense to extend the lead for them. And that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing consistently. I think we could be a few games over 500 come the end of June.
I'm starting to pick up on the in-between messages that Pat's been sending here. He keeps saying in reference to the Red Sox, he keeps saying we, and then he keeps saying that the Red Sox need a closer. And I know Scott Boras has been pretty mouthy in the media recently. We'll get to that. As a Boras guy myself, Pat Light, also a Boras guy. I'm kind of starting to put the pieces together here. Pat, are you lobbying for the Red Sox closer's role?
I think they're lobbying for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
honestly, my arm is not where it needs to be to pitch for the Boston fucking Red Sox.
What do you mean?
Humble.
It's on your fucking shoulder, dude.
No, I know. I understand that.
Yeah.
But they need a guy out there that can just not give a fuck.
You don't
just
give a fuck.
I don't give a shit. If I went out and pitched for the Boston Red Sox, I'm like, it's great. I'm getting paid an outrageous amount of money to throw probably 85 miles an hour. But like, I'm going to go out there and I'm not going to be nervous to screw up because I don't give a fuck.
But it's a sneaky 85.
Oh, very sneaky. I would just throw splitters the entire time. You would see no fastballs until my arm strength got back up. But these guys are talented pitchers. They're just mind fucking themselves out there. And then the next thing you know, they give up a dick shot because they end up falling behind a guy and they end up having to do this, having to do that. You put yourselves in holes. That's what's going on out there. Matt Barnes I was Matt Barnes' throwing partner for a while. It fucking sucks catching that guy. The guy's got a nasty fucking breaker. He throws fucking 100. I never played with Brazier, but he's got good stuff. These guys have good stuff, and people get upset with them. And it's all mental for those guys. That's where we're at, and that's why you need these starters to do what they're doing. That's why you need people want to talk about not paying Xander Bogaerts right now. It is ridiculous. He might be, and I'm sure he's at least a huge part of it, holding this team together through a tough April and a beginning of May. Alex Cora has done his job as a leader of this club, and Xander Bogaerts has done the same thing. Rafael Devers, who although is probably one of the longest tenured guys there because we've had a lot of switch up, but he's probably not a leader in the clubhouse right now. He's a young kid. Xander Bogaerts is the leader in that clubhouse right now, and if we make a comeback, we storm back here at the end of this year. If you're not the front office thinking that Xander Bogaerts, regardless of his on-field play, had a large role in making this happen, you're an idiot. He's doing a tremendous amount more off the field that we do not see to prove his value, and hopefully, I'm sure he does. A guy like Alex Cora, people like that, step up and speak for him in these meetings with Heim and all those guys.
Do you think that if the Red Sox signed you today, that you would be the emotional vocal leader of the Boston Red Sox day one?
Day one, I am the guy. I'm a very loud man.
Do you even have to say anything to them?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you walked into the Red Sox club, it's like, all right, breaking news. Jeff Passan, Red Sox sign former, now current Red Sox first round draft pick, Pat Light, to a 3-year deal with an option for a 4th season. $64 million. You walk into that clubhouse. They got your number 43 waiting for you. Your locker, they were like, you know what? Just so that you know the significance of this locker. This used to be David Ortiz's locker. We want it to be yours.
Mm-hmm.
Your
lockers. He had multiple.
Yeah, he had multiple. This is one of David Ortiz's lockers, and now it's yours. And you got that number 43 hanging right there. And you put it on, and everyone's watching you put it on. All the guys are standing in a circle in the clubhouse, and then all of a sudden, the chant starts. Speech, 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 speech. And obviously, at that point, you have to say something.
Have to. You can't be the guy that doesn't say anything there.
Right. So the player's like, fucking Patty Nips is back. He's got his number 43. And the boys need to be fired up. What's that speech sound like?
Well, listen, it's going to touch a lot of points. First thing that we're going to touch on, and I'm going to have it queued up, probably by Jake. Jake's going to be in the clubhouse with me. I'm going to mandate that in my contract.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, we're gonna have not only a PowerPoint presentation, but we're gonna have the Rudy
is gonna put together the PowerPoint for you.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and we're gonna have the Rudy theme song going because you need that. Sometimes people need to have the feeling, and you hear as I build up my PowerPoint presentation to the climax, you need to have it queued up with the right song. And how could you not get pumped up to the Rudy theme song?
Definitely.
But we're just going to touch it. I'm going to bring them back down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you're playing for the fucking Boston Red Sox. You are a phenomenal baseball player. Phenomenal.
Right.
Like I know
Who
it's
you make? Are you a make eye contact guy, or are you kind of like looking around the room at different objects that you don't have to make?
I'm an eye contact guy.
Speak
Okay.
to
And
everybody.
I'm
in the room.
Roman. I'm Roman. I'm walking around. I'm getting in people's faces. We're having fun.
Okay.
And
You
Jake's
flipping
on.
over chairs? Is it that type of vibe?
No,
or
no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Okay,
Maybe towards the end, towards the climax.
sure.
But listen, I'm going to touch on how good of baseball players these guys are, and I know it's intimidating being in a clubhouse with a guy like me, you know, and the history that comes with me. I get that.
Right.
I remember when I first came up, David Ortiz came up to me and was like, "Hey, listen, Pat, it's an absolute privilege to play with you. You know, you are so so storied here in Major League Baseball. There's so many people that know me." And he was just, he was a really nice guy, nice kid. David was. So listen, that's for a story for another day. But
Right.
we would touch on, make sure that they're comfortable with me because of the history that I have. Like when I would step foot onto Fenway Park, I mean, guys, we all know the crowd.
Right.
They're going to be going ballistic.
Right.
Absolutely, you won't hear a say. Most people compare it to Tiger Woods.
Right.
It's like very, very similar. Tiger Woods, Pat Light.
Pellet.
So we're going to get there, and then I'm going to instill that confidence that I have. Listen, you're on a fucking team, not only in probably the greatest city in the country, but you're on a team with me.
Yeah.
Like, guys, there are very few people that get to say that in their lives. Very, very few people. And right at that moment is that probably the climax, and then I'm going to have Jake start a Pat chant.
Okay. Jake's gonna start the chant.
Yeah, he's going to start the chant.
Is it Jake that's saying it, or is it in the PowerPoint?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Wow.
Both. And then the ending of the PowerPoint presentation is you two on Zoom
Mhm.
also joining the chant.
The chant.
The
Okay.
chant. Yeah. And I'm going to have media in there. It's not players only. I want media.
Yeah.
I'm going to live stream it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some fun with this. We're going
You
to
gotta have your
really
family
turn. Yeah, we're going to turn into the social media world here,
Sure.
and we're going to show what the Boston Red Sox are about when Pat Light's on the team. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that right now. I'm going to change that culture in a really good way and really quickly.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like the team needs that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even coming off of back-to-back series wins, who's to say that they don't need another pick-me-up after the pick-me-up that Nick Pivetta gave them tonight? Yeah, I could see that, and people forget Xander Bogaerts, former teammate of Pat Light.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And he would probably be the first guy to say, guys, listen, I know some of you may not know him personally, but I've been in the fucking trenches with Pat Light, and you guys need to listen up and hear what he's got to say.
Oh, yeah. He would probably, I know right now, Xander called me right after the game today.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he was like, listen, Pat, I'm on the phone here with Heim. I said hello to Heim, said, how are you?
Mhm.
And he was like, listen, Pat, we're thinking about bringing you back. I knew
Yeah.
the only thing that's holding them up right now is just how much money it cost them.
Right.
So did they feel like the team wasn't good enough until today's win to even reach out to you?
Yeah, because they know I'm not coming back from just some ordinary team here.
Right.
And I've been very positive about the Boston Red Sox, but if I attach my name to a team, to a club, I mean, listen, we're going to be a good club here. We're not going to be some rinky-dink team at the bottom of the AL East. We're not competing with the Orioles any longer.
Right.
So they gave me a call. I thought it was a little premature, to be honest with you, because I mean, we're not even ready on this podcast to say that they're back.
Right.
So I think it was a little premature. But I told Heim, good friend of mine. Listen, I love you, Heim. Call Scotty B. This is you know my demands. I want $50 million a year, and but listen, probably gonna win a World Series.
Yeah. I mean, you want a closer. There's Pat Light right there.
Yeah, just get me to the 7th.
Yeah.
I'll throw 100 innings this year out of the bullpen, and I will close every game.
That's kind of like what Xander was saying to the team. It was kind of like the rallying cry to kind of get to this point where they're going to go on a run and win all these games. It's win for Light, because Pat's not coming out of retirement to sign with some shitbag bottom of the barrel team.
No, will not.
No, if you win and Pat Light can come out of retirement to pitch for a contender, he's only pitching for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are talking about help is on the way. We talk about Waka. We talk about Chris Sale. I mean, Is there a bigger piece out there than me that could come and help this squad?
I can't think of one.
No.
Why even make a move at the deadline?
Yeah. No, you don't need to.
You don't cost prospects.
No, I don't cost. I just cost $50 million. That's it.
That's it.
And honestly, you think about it, Pat, we get your deal done, $50 million a year, getting Bogart signed at that point, we might make it a package deal.
I think you should. Listen, and if Xander, good friend of mine, good close personal friend of mine,
Right.
he gave me a call and said, "Hey, Pat, could you throw me in there?" And I said, I first say, "Let me think about it."
Right.
I love you, Xander, but I've never done something like that before. I put my neck on the line for people. That's a big ask. And then I factor in, I bring Scotty B on the call. We'd have a conversation. That's what we do. We'd have a conversation.
Have a conversation. The other thing too that people aren't really considering is, a lot of people were saying, well, Rafael Devers might not want to sign here if Xander's not here. Well, the chain continues. Xander might not want to sign here if Pat Light's not here.
Yeah. And
So-
I might not want to sign here unless there are legitimate talks around them being re-signed.
Right.
So
So I could see a situation where it's kind of like when the Celtics had that press conference with the big three. They were all holding up their jerseys. And you had KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen holding up their jerseys. I could see a situation where you've got Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts, and Pat Light holding up their jerseys at a press conference.
Yeah.
Pat Light in the middle.
Pat Light in the middle, yeah.
yeah, no, I would.
Well, he's definitely the tallest of the three, so I think
Yeah.
symmetrically speaking, that would make the most sense, and also, significance. It wouldn't be an order of significance, but you would put the most prominent figure in the middle. No,
Of course.
yes,
Yeah.
and like from an average annual value standpoint, Pat would be the more significant expense.
Great return on investment, though.
Big time.
Mhm.
Would you? If you got an average annual value of $50 million to come play for the Boston Red Sox again, to come home, where would you live? Would you live over here? Or
Yeah.
Would you buy?
Yeah, of course, I'd probably buy.
$50 million?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I'd probably. Well, first off, the thing you have to also realize is I'm a businessman. This is
Mhm.
what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so not only is it going to be $50 million, but I'm getting a piece of the Sox. I'm getting a piece of the Fenway Group.
Okay.
That's 100%. Now that's going to have to come at a later date because you can't own a team and play for them. Otherwise, all these owners would play for their own teams. But
Is that true? Is that a rule?
Yeah.
That's a rule?
Yeah. Actually, fun fact: I actually got offered through some business friends of mine. I got offered a piece of the Yankees years ago. It was a very small piece. It was like a group of us going to go in, and you're going to pay like $15 million. Obviously, I wasn't doing that. But everyone would come in. We all put a little money in, like into a pool, and you buy 1% of the Yankees, some shit like that. Not even 1%. That's significantly less than 1%. And I called Scott. I didn't call my guy with Scott. This guy Bobby Brownlee, and I was like, "Hey," I was still trying to play at the time, and I was like, "Hey, if I go in on this deal, can I play?" He's like, "No, you can't play. You're out of contention at that point." So fun
Do you
fact.
regret not doing it?
No, would it cost pretty much all of my money at the time?
Mhm.
I mean, what am I even really doing owning 0.002% of the Yankees?
I mean,
Doesn't come with
profit,
anything.
no?
I'm sure it'd turn a profit, but it doesn't really do anything.
How long would it take to turn a profit?
I'm sure I would turn a profit. I guess you're saying making my money back, and then when I get past that point,
Mhm.
I honestly have no idea. I've heard buying sports teams. I have looked into it. Is definitely a good investment. But it seems like, especially this is what Scott actually told me. It seems like the real play is to buy Fenway, buy the Red Sox, and then you buy all the real estate around it.
So do you want to buy the Red Sox with me?
I would love to. We're never going to buy it. John Henry's not going to sell. But I have a few teams that I've been flirting with.
If you get them a 5th championship, you don't think John Henry will think about it?
Oh, I think he would. Yeah. And we were talking about hypothetically if I stay out of baseball.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I like
you
to
don't
live
think
in the
John
real
Henry's
world.
ever going to sell?
I think he's trying to take the Fenway Group public. So technically he would sell to the public and make a boatload of money. But he's trying to buy teams. Didn't he just buy another one? He has a soccer club. He's got the Red Sox. Didn't he buy a football team? Or he's trying to buy a soccer team or something?
They got the Penguins.
The Penguins. There you go. Hockey. And, he's establishing quite the portfolio of major sports teams. So I don't think he's looking to sell.
Looking for an NBA team now, I believe.
Makes sense.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
That is kind of like the Liverpool fans. It's like having like a step sibling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have the same dad, but like we're not related. Like I don't like Liverpool fans. You'll see them fucking complaining on Twitter, and it's like they fucking just spent $140 million on a second baseman that's really a shortstop, and we need a fucking I don't even know what the positions in soccer are called, but we need a fucking little kicky boy.
Yes, kicky boy. Yes.
And they're just like they get mad at us. I'm like, don't get mad at us. I mean, I think John Henry's net worth, if without looking, he's got like what, 5 billion? He's a billionaire with a B. Like a multi-billionaire. Like when you own I think the Red Sox, I don't know what he bought in for. It was like 300 million he bought the Red Sox for, and they're worth fucking what?
Yeah, they're over $1 billion. They're at like $2 billion now.
Buy the Red Sox for. John Henry bought the Red Sox for 380 million.
I got 2022 John Henry at 3.6 billion.
He has 3.6 billion?
That's apparently the net worth.
Okay, so the Red Sox are worth $3.9 billion, and he bought them for 380 million.
Not bad.
What year? Did he buy it?
2002.
So, I mean, that's fantastic.
It's a pretty good ROI, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not like a big investment guy. I have people who do that for me, but if someone said, "All right, you give me 380, and I'll give you 3.9 billion," I feel like that most people would say, "Deal."
Mm-hmm.
Jake, would you do that deal?
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Yeah. Jake's one of like the smartest people that I know. So if Jake's going to do that deal, guess who else is signing up for it? Me.
He just convinced me. I was on the fence.
I was on the fence about it, but now it makes sense. You know what else makes sense?
What?
Using the DraftKings Sportsbook. You can slide into stacks of cash this baseball season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. New customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets no matter what, win or lose. Looking to turn a small bet into a big payday during MLB season? With DraftKings same game parlays, you can do just that. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets like which team will win, how many bases will be stolen, total runs, and more. It's your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared, Jared. Bet just $5 and get $150 in free bets no matter what happens on the field. That is promo code Jared at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. MLB trademarks used with permission. So I did the stream on Tuesday night with Lou Merlone. I'll be doing those streams every Tuesday night. But here's the problem. Herein lies the problem. Next Tuesday, the game starts at 8:30. They're playing the White Sox in Chicago. And then the Tuesday after that, I believe they're playing the Dodgers. And that game starts at 9:30. Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, I think they're playing the Angels.
Angels.
There
right?
we
go.
Not
What's
the
today?
Dodgers.
Today's the 18th.
I don't think they play the Dodgers all year.
Yeah, they're playing. No, they're playing the.
Yeah, they're playing the Central this year. They're not playing the West.
They're going to be playing the Reds?
The Reds.
Reds.
What the fuck was Lou talking about?
Because we're talking about
the Angels the week after.
Yeah, we got Baltimore, Reds, A's. Those are the series where you should take care of business.
Yes. And if you want to have a winning record like me and Jared predicted at the end of the month, you have to win those. Or you have to do things you were not expecting.
I'd also like to join that prediction group, by the way. Just want to slip that in there.
Tyler,
June
welcome.
28th.
Thank you.
June 28th.
June 28th crew. Which is an interesting choice of day, by the way.
Why?
Because it's in the middle of the Toronto series. When June 29th is the end of it and the end of the month. But we decided to, you know what, let's give it one more game.
Well, June 30th, they're off, right?
Yeah, so that's why you I feel like we should pick the 29th.
No.
Okay. Let's pick the middle game of the series.
Because I don't want to say the end of June. You're still giving it some time before the end of June.
Okay.
That's my thought process.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Jake, are you in on this?
Back.
Yeah, but only if it's the 28th.
29th's really up in the air.
I mean, we're just not doing the 29th, dude.
Okay.
Like, what is that? Like, you have is that like fucking anniversary for something cool? Like, oh, I want it to be the 29th. Like, what's the significance of the 29th for you, Pat?
Actually, what's funny, I just thought of this because when you said, hey, does this have any significance to you? I didn't remember, but it's actually my dog who passed away's birthday.
Oh,
why do you gotta kill the vibes?
dude.
What's wrong with you?
Dude,
You asked for significance. I gave you significance.
You
The
selfish
fucking-
fuck.
This podcast was super positive, and then you're like, hey, by the way, my dog died. Let's remember it.
No, we're good. We're good. He died like a year ago.
You already
It's
recent.
That's not even that long ago. That's like, is this the first anniversary of your dog's dying?
No, we were past the first anniversary. It was in February.
So this,
What?
wait, what? You just
The
said it was
birthday.
fucking June 29th.
The birthday is
Oh,
on
the
June
birthday
29th.
of the dog that died.
Yes.
Little less worse.
Is this the first birthday?
Be the second if it happened in February.
Second, this is the
Happened in
second birthday.
February of 20, what's this, 22. So it'd be the 2021 February. So the first birthday has already passed.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Everything was super positive.
Now we have dead dogs on our mind.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Everything was super positive until you just made that selfish decision to talk about your dog.
You asked me. It's not my fault.
I wish I didn't.
Yeah. I think
I
probably
wish I
people listening to this
didn't ask
podcast this morning are also hoping we're wishing you didn't say that.
Who said that?
You.
What did I say?
You asked the question. I gave you the answer. This is what I do. People ask things of me. I give them answers whether they like it or not.
I mean, what are the odds? Really? 1 out of 365 is the answer.
Legitimate. We have the odds. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the odds.
Actually, funny story. I was leaving the Kentucky Derby, and the horse that won was 80-1,
Mhm.
and we were like going down the escalator. I was like, "Fucking 80-1 guy. What are the odds?" And he looks at me and goes, "They were 80-1."
80-1.
I also have another funny story for you. As you were talking about lockers, while my good close personal friend David Ortiz had 2,
Yes.
several guys had 2. I can't remember if like David Price had them. I think they did, but several guys had 2. And then in September, we ran out of lockers. So these guys had 2 lockers while Mike Miller, I don't remember that name.
No.
But Mike Miller, he only played like one day in big leagues. But Mike Miller came up from like a call up from September or something like that. And they put like a throwaway locker in the middle of the clubhouse.
Oh no.
It's like, and he's like one of those guys that he's no way he's listening to this. I always avoided him in the season
Yeah.
because he's a nice enough guy, but unbelievably negative. And
Uh-huh.
I am not a negative person, and I certainly can't be for a 162 game season.
Yeah.
So like I always avoided him. I was like, Mike, no, leave me alone. Get the fuck away from me. I'm not listening to this about why, the pitch that night from 4 nights ago was a little outside. You'd be hitting, 280 if that wasn't that way. So I thought he was like, we called him Eeyore. And it was funny to see the sad sack in the middle of the clubhouse where all the media stands getting dressed for the game.
Everyone else probably felt the same way. They're probably like, get this guy away from me.
Probably. Looking back, that's probably why.
Yeah.
So you saw this
I wouldn't
happen to
want that.
someone, Pat, and you're willing to do this to somebody else with your new contract?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Team guy.
Yeah. No, listen, like I said, I wasn't upset for the guy. It's unfortunate, but I was sitting over there building shelves with Craig Kimbrell, so not my problem.
Why would you need 2 lockers?
It's just like a status thing. I mean, you certainly it's nice. You don't need it. The lockers are big enough, although Fenway is historically small. But you don't need it. But for guys like David Ortiz, guys like Mookie Betts, like these guys that have unbelievable, brand deals. I mean, they do have a tremendous amount of things. Like I had like 2 or 3 pairs of cleats at most, like a pair of turfs, and then some clothes. I didn't need anything else. But like these guys, Mookie Betts, it seemed like he had 15 pairs of shoes to show up to his locker every day.
That is true. Like, guys are getting stuff sent to them all the time.
And Mookie was a one locker guy because he was still young at the time.
Yeah. I mean, David Price, because he was a Jordan guy, would get sneakers sent to the clubhouse all the time. And he would just like hand them out to whoever wanted them in the clubhouse.
Mookie was a Jordan guy too.
Yeah, he was.
Still is.
Still is. That is interesting to see. And then like, I mean, obviously you didn't, but like guys are getting like fan mail, right?
Yeah. Actually just got fan mail again.
Again?
Yeah, they always send it to my parents' house. I guess I have like a P.O. box. I've gotten more fan mail in the last like 3 or 4 months than I've gotten in a while. I won't say it's annoying. It's annoying for me. And I'll tell you why. No, I'm going to tell you why it's annoying. Because I want to answer. I just never get around to it. Every time I see it in the drawer, I'm like, fuck, I should have done that. And so like, it's like, that's why it's annoying. I always fucking push it off. And I should just sign it and send. They give you the fucking envelopes in the damn thing. Just sign the damn thing, Pat, and send it out. I don't have to go to the mail. I drop off my front desk and the concierge in my building, and they send it out. I don't even do anything.
Is it like the fan mail can't possibly be like letters? It's people sending you baseball cards that they want signed and sent back.
Why don't you talk for 5 seconds? I'll go get it.
Yeah. All right. You go get it. Because I mean, there's no way that Pat's career at any point could have moved someone so much that all these years later they're writing letters to the fucking guy. Like, he sucked. He's terrible.
Yes.
There's no way someone was like, oh man, look at Pat Light out there fucking dealing. This guy inspired me to be a better person. And then 6 years later, you're going to write this guy a fucking letter? No chance.
No, wait, though. It may be something where it's like, these kids looking for hope in a dark place, and they saw Pat get his shit kicked in.
But it's not inspiring. He didn't make it anywhere.
Excuse me, Tyler?
No, that wasn't me, Jared.
I just walked in to hear they saw Pat get his shit kicked in.
Potentially, allegedly. I didn't say that.
No, it's not alleged. That's what happened. All right. So is this these are letters?
Huh?
Are these letters or baseball cards?
I'm sure they're letters with baseball cards. That's what every piece of fan mail is.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. They have to be people being like, hey, Pat, love you on the podcast. Unfortunately, didn't see you as a baseball player because, can you please sign my card? Here's the return envelope. Baseball cards? Okay, read some of these letters.
No, I don't want to read this one.
Why?
Oh no! What did they say?
I typically don't read the typed up ones because they usually just insert someone's name.
Yeah.
So he did talk about being a Red Sox fan, so he had something going for himself. But he just said, "Dear Mr. Light," and then no, he's from Northville, Michigan.
Okay. The typed up ones, the ones that are my favorite, are the ones that you can tell that an adult clearly wrote, pretending to be a kid with bad penmanship.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. What's this one say?
Dear Mr. Light, I enjoyed watching you.
No, you didn't.
Excuse me.
I'm not laughing at you.
Come up through the Red Sox system and debut for the team. If you would be kind enough to sign a card or two, I would really appreciate. Best wishes to you and your loved ones. You are the best Red Sox player that has ever played, and we hope that they sign you for $50 million a year. Sincerely, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Great baseball mind.
Yeah, really good.
No. How did they know your salary demands? We talked about it on this show. Have you said it anywhere else?
I think Scott leaked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was at the bottom of that Bogarts column that came out a couple of days ago, if you got all the way through.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Open up another one.
Another typed one.
It's fake.
They became personal. They just typed it.
Yeah.
No.
No what?
It's not personalized. It just says, Dear Mr. Light, and then it talks about himself.
What does it say?
It says, my name is Jacob, and I'm an avid baseball, football, and hockey fan. My favorite teams are the Colorado Rockies, Detroit Tigers, Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks, Detroit Lions, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're kind of all over the place besides
Pick
Detroit.
some better teams, dude.
I know,
Holy
geez.
shit.
And I think we all can agree that 2020 was not the best start for this new decade. I was like, yeah, that's everyone talks about starts of decades and if they are good or not.
But I mean, like, what part of
Last
that
one.
information was useful in terms of asking Pat Light for an autograph card?
I've always found it interesting that, and this is not me being an asshole, but I've always found it interesting how people write to you and they say, hey, could you sign this? And immediately now I have to read a very mini autobiography on you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a kid, go for it. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like, okay, yeah, I hope you do well. I've written some stuff back to kids. Like, so there had one kid recently send me like a front and back questionnaire. And it was like, what was your favorite food growing up? And I was like, it's a kid. I'll answer the damn thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you're an adult sending me your autobiography, like, I don't go out sending send things to people. But, hey, just want you to know, this is a brief summary of what I did in my life.
All right. Just before you sign this for me, here's my resume.
Ooh, it's a nice picture.
Someone sent you a picture?
You see it?
Oh, with the
Ooh.
twins, huh?
Yeah. Nice. I should keep this one.
Yeah.
And we got, okay, and this is, yep, didn't even sign it. Okay.
Is there a letter or no?
Yeah. It
What does it
says, hey, Mr. Light, or hey there, Mr. Light. I am a huge sports cars and sports memorabilia collector from New Hampshire. Love that. I love when you just come out and say I'm a collector and we're just moving on instead of just saying, like, you know, I'm a kid, pretending you're a kid. I'm a huge sports fan. I'm sending you one photo asking you if you could sign it for my personal collection. It will help my collection grow, blah, 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 blah. You know, we'd love to see you back with the Red Sox. Sincerely, Heim.
Wow.
What a guy.
Is that the first letter you've got from him or one of many?
It's like every week with that guy. Enough's enough, right?
Right. Pick up the phone.
Yeah,
Stop with the letters.
Pick up the phone, call Scott. And
Mhm.
Scott calls me and says, hey, listen, we're reporting.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't take you much time to get into throwing shape.
No. Remember, I'm not going to try to throw 100 anymore. That didn't work
Right.
out round one.
That's true.
We're gonna mix it up and we're gonna go throw 80.
Didn't come close to working.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna go throw 80, and I can throw 80 now. I can throw 80 every game, every day for the rest of the season and be fine. So let's go out. Let's have some fun, throw some splitters. As I said in Pittsburgh, splitty Nash.
Mm.
And we're gonna have some fun.
You know who else is gonna have fun? Red Sox fans.
Yeah, damn right they are.
Yeah, I mean that's what you call a big splash.
Mm-hmm. Big splash. It's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be talking about that.
A lot of people.
You know what you should do?
What?
Is you should get in touch with ESPN. I know you know a lot of people at ESPN, and you should have like Pat Light the decision, because I mean I would imagine it's not just gonna be the Red Sox vying for your services once you announce that you're coming out of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And then you should sit in front of a table with all the hats, but they're only Red Sox hats.
And then whatever hat I pick will be the only jersey we wear for the rest of the year.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Pat's picks.
Pat's picks.
Which, by the way,
You're cutting out, Jared. I can't get you.
He
Pat's
sounds good to me.
picks, the top 5
No.
Guinness
we did
Book
not do
of
this
World-
last time I was here. You wonder why I don't show up to the podcast.
What?
I told you last time we did this. I actually go on Reddit. I downloaded Reddit.
Yep.
I made a username and
Yeah.
I went on to Reddit to talk
Yeah.
shit about my own segment on the show.
No. People hated Pat's 12 pack.
No, they hate Pat's picks too.
No. They love Pat's picks. They love Pat's picks. They hated Pat's 12 pack. But they're like, Pat's picks? This is
Pat's
exactly
12
what
pack.
I wanted.
Pat's 12 pack took like an hour and a half to get through.
I mean, you didn't come prepared for Pat's picks, so I guess we'll save it until after the Mariners series, but you better fucking come prepared.
What am I picking?
I told you, it's the fucking top 5 most impressive or whatever you said Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, I'll see you.
I forget
I'll see you
what did
June
we agree on?
28th.
It was like the best or like the coolest or most impressive or most unbreakable. Like what was the adjective that we used? It was something
I don't remember. I
Guinness
think
Book of World Records.
yeah.
I think you left it up to Pat.
I did.
I got some
What'd
thinking
you
to do.
decide? What did you decide on, Pat?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, make a decision so that people. I mean, I want people to know what they're walking into on Sunday.
Sunday, the 26th of June. After the pleading season, that's when I'll do it.
It looks like the 22nd of May.
That's no good for me.
Why not? What do you got going on?
Meeting with Heim.
Yeah.
I can't cancel that again.
On a Sunday?
Don't want another letter.
Off day the next day for them.
That's true. It's gonna be a late night.
That was the one thing with crazy with baseball. Not to change subjects, but definitely to change subjects. You never knew what day it was. They all the same fucking thing. You do the same thing every single day, and then you have an off day. It's all of a sudden a weekend. Like if you end the series on a Wednesday, and you have an off day Thursday, it's now Saturday night. And trying to get like girls and stuff to go out with you on like a Tuesday night, it's not the easiest. I mean, for me, it was fantastically easy because I mean, come on,
right?
But a lot for those other guys. You know who big timed me? Do you remember this, Jared?
Was I there?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. I remember the moment, but I'm struggling to remember who the player was.
Okay. It was a pitcher.
Yeah.
Someone you played with?
Was it Heater?
Yeah, it was Heater. Matt Barnes is, me and Matt were close. And I mean, I love that guy. Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Heater, I was pretty close with. I played with him for like 3 years. And he came out of he's always a little bit of a weirdo, but he came out of the clubhouse and I just went and I said hello to the guy. And like he was like, hey, and I just kept walking. I was like, that's fucking weird. So I was like, maybe he wants to get away from everyone. So I kind of walk with him. And then I realized like 5 steps into us walking, I was like, he doesn't want me around. And I was like, all right, see ya. And I just like kind of fucking ended the conversation and walked away from him. I was like, that was fucking weird. I remember talking to BJ about it.
I can't confirm or deny, but he was coming out of the gate, and that's usually where like the autograph seekers will wait. So I think that there's a chance that he came out with his head down and just like thought that you were like a fan or something, and like did he make eye contact with you? Like he looked at you?
Yeah, and I said, I walked with the guy because I was like, oh, maybe he wants to get away from people. The moment I walk a few feet with you, you stop and you have a conversation.
Right.
So he like sped up
for long. He just kept going. I was just like, all right, well, I'll walk for a little bit. I'm not walking you home. So I fucking turned around. I was like, fuck this guy. And I loved Heater. I had a good time with him in Pawtucket and in Boston.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so that happened to me with Kevin Hayes. I was at a bar in Southie, and Kevin Hayes like came up to me, and I was kind of like looking one way, and then like he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I looked over and I was like, "What's up?" And then I just like went back to like my conversation. I didn't realize it was Kevin Hayes. So like I've been there in that spot, and like I think like he said to Mike Grinnell, he was like, "Yeah, like fucking Carrabis big timed me in Southie," and then Grinnell was like, "You fucking big timed Kevin Hayes," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "When?" And he like described it, and I was like, "Oh, that was him." I didn't realize. I mean, you're not like you're in the basement of a bar in Southie. You're not looking for NHL players.
Yeah,
like you're just not. So
and you also didn't play with Kevin Hayes for 3 years.
Yeah, I didn't play with Kevin. Yeah, but I think it's more so like when you're in an environment where your guard is up because you're expecting to get approached by people that you don't necessarily know. Like the last thing I guess that you're expecting is to be approached by someone that you actually do know. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I get that. That would be fine if you did exactly what happened with you and Kevin. If I said hey, he just said hey and kept walking. Maybe he didn't realize who it was. But once I'm walking with you, you can't claim you don't know who it is anymore. Like I played with him the year before.
Yeah, that is weird, I guess.
It was a very strange. I would never say hi to him again. Not that I'm like again. I'm just not going to embarrass myself again.
That's weird.
Yeah, like if Heater came up to me and spoke to me, I'd have a friendly conversation. I have nothing against the guy, but I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna look like a fucking jabroni again. walking with someone who somewhat seemingly does not want to talk to me.
I don't want to say anything bad about him other than like, I don't necessarily think he's the brightest bulb. Like,
He's a weirdo too.
I want to believe that was a mistake. I don't want to believe that was intentional.
Were you wearing a hat or any kind of disguise?
I can't remember. I was not really a hat guy, a disguise.
I don't know. Yeah. Who knows what you were doing?
How do you think I go to games? But, I wasn't really a hat guy at the time. So no, I doubt I was wearing a hat.
Okay.
Yeah, just weird. Just a weird interaction. And also Matt Barnes was standing right there.
Oh, that's even weirder.
And Matt was certainly a bigger name in Boston than Heater was. Although Matt, not saying anything bad about Matt, I absolutely love the guy. He thrives a little bit more in the attention. Heater hated people around him. He was like a loner. So
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna.
You still stop. No, I don't care what you say. You stop.
Not if you think that it's like a fan that you don't want to talk to.
But when I'm walking with you. Like if I ran into you, Jared, and you were trying to get away from a crowd, and I'm walking with you, once you get away, you stop. I'm not walking you to your apartment. It was weird. It was weird.
It was weird. I want to get some clarification on that.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now because of that.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people are going to be upset about this.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those things that. I mean, listen. I'm Team Pat. Always. If there's someone that Pat doesn't like, guess what? I don't like that guy either. But in this situation, actually, I mean, I also had a run in with Heath Hembry this was like 2015. We're good now. I mean, like I wouldn't say like we're friends.
2015, he was my teammate.
Yeah. I mean, we're good now. But yeah, there was a time where there was some animosity. I forget what that was even about, dude.
People were when I was playing for the Sox, people were very 50-50 on you.
Yeah.
Very 50-50 on you. You've grown much better with the team nowadays than you were when I was playing.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know why, I guess back then I was more aggressive in my criticisms.
Yes, you were, because you didn't know us all that well yet. Now you're friends with like 90% of the team.
Right.
And now you're like, well, fuck, I can't say this guy was fucking atrocious tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, like there's definitely guys that have struggled. And I think like if I put myself in the player's shoes and there's someone that has influence with the fan base, like if I say, get this guy off my fucking team, which like I used to tweet about, like if they were like relievers and they would blow games, I'd be like, get this guy off my fucking team.
To the moon.
And if I'm that guy and I see that tweet, like this guy is trying to, like, I'm sure that there's insecure guys that are on the team and they are fighting for their lives job wise every single day. And it certainly doesn't help if there's someone drumming up the fan base to be like, yeah, get this guy off the fucking team. And then, I get why certain guys were like, fuck him. But now I don't think that there's anyone on the team currently that I have an issue with or that I don't have some sort of positive relationship with. That doesn't mean that I won't criticize them. I mean, like, we've been talking about Matt Barnes. I mean, he's one of those guys that he'll hammer himself first. Like I'll be like, yeah, I fucking suck. Like I need to get my shit together. He said that in front of Jake. Like, yeah, he's like, I need to get my shit together. Like, we need to turn this thing around. And for me, it starts with me. So, there are guys, and I mean, Matt's been around too. He came up in 2014. So he's a guy that gets how this market works. That, yeah, like the fans are going to have their opinions and media is going to have their opinions, but you can take a lot of the sting out of it if you're first in line to give yourself a fucking stiff criticism. But when you were in there, like 2016, that was a John Farrell run clubhouse. John Farrell fucking hated me. And then there were a few guys that I think weren't big fans of mine because of things that I had to say. Like I think a lot of it was justified.
Do you
But
regret the regrets? Do you wish you didn't do that back then?
that I regretted how hard I came down on Buchholz, because I did not realize, like, that's one of the, like, the biggest benefits of, like, having the personal relationships is you figure out, like, all right, who is well liked in that clubhouse. And I would have thought Clay stinking up the joint all the time was not very popular. Little did I know he was one of the most popular guys in the clubhouse. So you don't realize that when you're shitting on a player that, like, say Pat did re-sign with the Red Sox and he wasn't doing well and people were shitting on him and saying mean things about him. If you say something mean about Pat, now you're pissing me off. So I get it. Like, when I was saying negative things about Clay Buchholz, that people in the clubhouse were like, oh, fuck him. Like Clay's our boy. And this guy doesn't like Clay. Well, fuck him. So I think a lot of it came from guys that I came after and the friends of popular players that I came after. So there was it really wasn't until I patched things up with Joe Kelly in 2018 that the tide started to turn in that clubhouse with me, really. I mean, I talked about the fucking beef that I had with Robbie Scott in 2017.
He's not bringing anyone with him in the clubhouse, though, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, like, I had beef with Robbie Scott in 2017 that, like, kind of boiled over in 2018. There was in 2017, I believe it was when I, like, broke some story about the coaches. The coaches went to John Farrell to vouch for Craig Kimbrell because Craig was upset about his usage, and the coaches went to John Farrell to kind of, like, voice their opinions on that and, like, stick up for Craig instead of taking John Farrell's side. And I broke that story, and I think someone at EEI confronted Farrell about it on the air, and he was so caught off guard and that story was public, and then he, like, lied about it. It was like, yeah, that didn't happen, but it did happen. And then that turned into Dave Dombrowski saying, well, I don't know if that guy has any credibility, which turned into fucking Portnoy going against Dombrowski being like, yeah, my guy Jared Carrabis, if he says that happened, then it fucking happened, you rat. So it became this big thing. And I think when that story became public, people started looking at guys like BJ, because I was only friends with, like, 2 players on the team. So people went up to Brian Johnson and they were like, are you fucking telling Carrabis stuff that goes on in the clubhouse? And BJ was like, I wasn't even here last week. I just got recalled. Like, I wasn't. And, like, they came after BJ. And then the other guy that they came after was Robbie Ross, because Robbie Ross was the first player to ever come on Section 10. And there was one day that, like, I was at Fenway and I was with his wife, Brittany, and we were waiting for Robbie to come out of the Red Sox clubhouse to come into the players lot. And I had parked at, like, the Museum of Science or something like that. And he was like, oh, I'll give you a ride to your car. And John Farrell saw me get into Robbie Ross's truck to take me to my car. And I mean, after that, like, I feel like Robbie was like, I mean, he obviously didn't perform great after that, but I think they thought that, like, Robbie was, like, a source of mine. And I was like, Robbie doesn't tell me shit. And like, that was, like, what BJ used to tell players. Like, when, like, players were iffy about me and they would go up to Brian and be like, why are you friends with that dude? He's like, we don't even really talk about baseball. And that was true. Like, anytime that I would talk to BJ, it would be about girls. Like, we would talk about girls. We would talk about, like, whatever, like, shit that we like to do. And, like, he's like, he doesn't ask me for information, and I don't offer information up to him. Like, we're just friends. Like, we met because through baseball. Like I play for the Red Sox, he covers the Red Sox. We have that in common. We became friends that way. But like he doesn't use me or ask me those questions. So like BJ was my biggest advocate at the time with players in the clubhouse being like, yeah, he's an all right dude. He's not digging for dirt, and that's what they thought. So after the brawl in 2018, the Red Sox Yankees Joe Kelly brawl, that's when like Joe Kelly was like the man of the hour, and BJ was the guy that bridged the gap with me and Joe Kelly, because Joe Kelly didn't like me because I wrote a blog. It was actually, ironically, it was like something like the Red Sox need to send down Joe Kelly and call up Brian Johnson. Like that was like the name of the blog. And I think after that, he was like, all right, fuck this guy. But after the brawl, I was like, damn, like I wish I was on better terms with Joe Kelly, because he's like the mayor of the city now. Like he was at like the Bruins game, and they put him up on the big board, and the entire stadium is like erupting. And I was like, this sucks that like I have a bad relationship with one of the most popular players on the Boston Red Sox right now. So BJ kind of mended fences with me and Joe. And then the Red Sox came to New York City to play the Yankees not long after the brawl. And he was like, yeah, like if you want me to come, he's like, he wanted to check out the Barstool office, and he came in, and that's when he did the in-studio interview with Section 10. And I think at the time it was like our most downloaded episode ever. So it wasn't really until Joe Kelly lifted the embargo that everyone else started to be like, yeah, all right, cool. And then obviously John Farrell getting fired and Alex Cora coming in. Like I was friends with Alex before he managed the Red Sox, because he used to fucking like we used to go back and forth on Twitter all the time about Rusney Castillo, because he managed him in I think Venezuela maybe. And so like I knew Alex, so he comes in, and it's like, all right, like if Joe's cool with them and Price is cool with them and JD's cool with them, then who am I to say that I don't like this guy? So yeah, that's the long-winded history of how I went from fucking Pat Light's clubhouse of a lot of dudes being like, fuck this guy, to now I don't know that there's anyone that would feel that way on this team currently.
This makes me question my Twitter behavior. That entire, because listen, I feel I carry the Red Sox Bobo moniker at 98.5, but I feel like I do still have some of that sports hub in me where I can be a little hard on guys. And, one of the guys I rag on, Brazier, I'll throw him in that Matt Barnes, area with you. He owns it. He owns it when he gives it up. He'll be one of those guys that gets in there. And, I've tweeted a couple times, Ryan Brazier, the moon. I don't know. After hearing that, I apologize, Ryan Brazier. You don't have to like me. I've done my tweets. Pat, you can probably speak to whether that's fixable or not. But I apologize. I think maybe I need to refine some of my Twitter game after that.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many guys in the clubhouse are searching their name on Twitter.
Oh, really?
It doesn't take him following you. It doesn't take any of that. They'll search their name, especially after a bad night, a really bad night or a really good night. A lot of people, I did it. It was, and it's a drug.
Yeah. And
then when you see Jared Krause being like, this fucking guy, Pat Life, he steps on the mound one more fucking time, I swear I'm going to kill someone. And I'm like, well, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I remember being in BJ's SUV, going into spring training. It was the year that I got called up in 16. And I remember going to, we're at a red light, sitting there, and your name had popped up or something like that. I was like, what the fuck's up with this guy? And I didn't care about much of anything, but anytime you have fragile egos in baseball, and you have this guy who is not pulling punch, he's not writing a piece for the Globe that's saying, hey, well, Pat this is his statistics over the last month. This is why he hasn't been very good. He needs to do this, needs to work on his splitter. But that's not that. It's a headline in all caps about how bad you are. Like, it's such a different type of media that guys weren't used to and weren't comfortable with. So it was tough. And like you said, you went for Clay Buchholz. Like, Buck was like the leader of the clubhouse, especially on the pitcher end.
Yeah.
Like that guy, like people didn't pick up on this, but that Angels game, he changed his walkout song to "I Ain't As Good As I Once Was." It was a fuck you to the fans for he gives up like a ground ball up the middle the second at bat, and people are booing him. It's like, what are we doing?
All right.
Like you're just setting this guy up for failure.
All right.
But guy was an absolute fucking legend. I loved Clay. Great golf too. And then he's the guy who gave me a beer at the end of the game.
Right. Great guy.
Great guy. And not many people like John Farrell. So you were that wasn't going to do any damage. I remember, and people had a lot of issues with how he managed the bullpen. My debut, my faux debut in Houston. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I warmed up like 7 times to go into that game on like an hour of sleep, and I was drinking the night before, and the last time they called down, I remember Stephen Wright was in the bullpen along with Dana. I don't know if Jared, you knew Dana.
Yeah, I met Dana and his family in line. I forget where I was flying to, but I met them.
He was one of the more favored people on that staff. And I remember he called down a bunch of times. He was visibly frustrated with John. Like they were, and everyone was outward about it. And then they called down the last time to say, I'm going in the next batter, whether it happens or not. It ended up not happening. But he called down, and before Stephen Wright could answer the phone, Dana screamed down the bullpen, say, answer the phone and tell him to go fuck himself. And I was sitting there just throwing my fastball. I didn't hear that. So yeah, there was a lot of, and then when I got sent down against the Angels, everyone was really fucking pissed that they didn't wait for Carl Willis to be done with his family to come, because the pitching coach was supposed to be in the meeting with you.
Right.
They said fuck off. It was Hazen, Dombrowski, and Farrell, and they just came in. And John Farrell, I've had nothing but good experiences with John besides this one, so I don't really talk shit about him, but he just absolutely motherfucked me in the room in front of these two guys, and to me, it was saving your own ass.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, because he was in the hot seat.
Yeah.
But
he was telling me that I can't go down to the AAA and just do what I've been doing and then come work we'll work in the big leagues. Like, dude, I just threw 2 months of 0 runs in AAA. You want me to change that?
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, but as the rookie, you got to sit there and wear that along with Hazen and Dombrowski. I was like, all right, well, what am I going to do? And then Willis came over after my shower and was like, dude, I can't believe they fucking called you in there without me. Carl Willis was a great guy.
Yeah, I met him one time. Good dude.
Very nice guy.
I do want to clarify, by the way, that Robbie Ross also was not. There was not a player who was the source of that Craig Kimbrell story. It was someone who wasn't even employed by the Boston Red Sox. But there, at the time, was a fucking witch hunt to find out who in the clubhouse is talking to Carrabis. It was like the fucking meme. Like everyone was like, who's talking? How is this information getting to him from the inside? And yeah, that must have been so weird. Like people just like, are you the rat? And like I felt bad. I felt bad for Robbie Ross. I mean, like the dude just offered me a ride to my car. And because of that, people thought that he was like a government informant. And then people were even like going up to BJ being like, why do you talk to that guy? Dickheads like Pat Light being like, why do you talk to this guy?
I was never that way. But
you literally just said that. You literally just said that.
No, I was like, what's up with this guy? I didn't.
How you said, why do you talk
what's up with this guy? I was like more like, well, do we like this guy? Do we not like this guy? Like,
we do like this guy.
Me and BJ, when it was came to me and Brian, the other's word was gold. Mm-hmm. So if you told me you liked someone, then I like him now. If one of us said no, fuck that guy, the guy was dead to us. Mm-hmm. Like we did not fuck.
Do we have that relationship, Pat?
Yeah, because the thing is, not everyone has that relationship, and the reason being is because not everyone is as similar to me. That where I'm probably going to have the same taste in people as you do. Mm-hmm. Me and you are very similar, Jared. Mm-hmm. So like where people are too comfortable too quick, people are kind of badgering. Like I'm going to leave me the fuck alone. So like, but we're going to have that same thought process. Whereas there, let's say for example, Tyler, he might have a longer leash with people, so he still might like someone where I might not. I might be out on that fucking guy.
Right.
Or it seems as though actually, Tyler and you and Tyler are pretty close. So I might have the longer leash, where like in a social setting where I wouldn't be bothered as much or as quick as you guys might be, because it seems like you guys want to be left in the corner. So
Right. That is true. You're
Yeah.
more of a social butterfly. I mean, if you get me drinking, I can be a social butterfly too.
Yeah.
But usually Pat Light brings out the best in people socially.
I'm a great time.
You're a great time.
I'm a great time.
Pat's just like, hey, you guys want shots? Everyone's like, no. Then Pat shows up with a tray of 15 shots for
Yeah, what are
3
you gonna say?
people.
Fucking no again? No, you're gonna fucking take the shot,
Right.
and you're gonna have a much better evening because of it.
You're not
and
wrong.
then you're gonna thank me all night about how much fun you fucking had.
Right.
And then the next day you're gonna hate me, but we'll just ramp it back up.
Sure. Yeah. What weekend again did you pick to come to Boston for a series?
I literally just took the schedule off. I've been looking at it the whole day, whole time, the whole day. I thought, oh, we were gonna do Baltimore, but it
Wait
was
a second.
because it ends on Monday. Was it supposed to be this weekend?
Wait. Baltimore
I camped
series?
this weekend, but
It's the last weekend of May.
so there's the Baltimore. But I thought we ended it because you wanted me to come up for in person, which we can't do on Monday night.
I just want to see you, Pat.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't care when it is. I just want to see you. Been a long time.
It has been a long time. And you really don't have much in the way of a week. We have one weekend series at home in June.
Which is terrible. That's what I just said. What the fuck about? I was looking
Yeah.
at the schedule in June. I was like, June's probably one of the best summer months because it's not scorching hot yet. It's just kind of like a fun temperature. It's like high 70s, low 80s. Like you're not just like, oh God, it's so fucking hot. I can't go outside. But it's like, yeah, it's fucking nice out. Let's go out and have a good time. Well, good thing the fucking Red Sox are not home at all in June on weekends.
You know what I think I have my eye on though?
What's that?
First home weekend series in July.
Ooh. Wait. When is that?
It's the Yankees.
It's the
7th,
Yankees.
8th, 9th. Yeah.
8, 9, 10?
And a freshly new above 500 Red Sox team.
That's true. That's a
They'll
winning
hit
ball
that mark.
club.
We'll hit that mark in the middle of the Toronto series on a Tuesday.
Red Sox are going to be, you know what? You should come to Chicago with me.
The Cubs at Wrigley?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, July 1st through the 3rd. And Red Sox are going to be in Chicago. I think I'm going to go. I'd love if you joined.
Wrigley is certainly on the bucket list.
You've never been?
No. I played at is it First Rate? Is that the White
Guaranteed
Sox?
rate.
Guaranteed Rate.
The G spot.
Yeah. I played there. Pitched pretty well there too.
No, you didn't.
No, it was for the Twins. I did good there. I always did well against the White Sox for some reason.
Did you?
White Sox and Detroit, but Detroit was the botched intentional walk.
Yes. Who was that? Was that Upton that scored on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Know your Pat Light history.
Know your Pat Light history.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot.
There's a lot going on there.
A ton of history.
Ton of history.
Yeah. I made fun of Matt Barnes in a TikTok. I thought it would have done better.
You made fun of him?
Yeah, because he gave advice to Steve Aoki.
Oh yeah, I
And
saw
I made
that.
I made a comment that it was like the same advice he gave me about intentional walks. I thought that was well done, and that people didn't love it.
People didn't love it.
No, never took like it's got one of those like initial like, okay, this is good. We're saying this out to 1,500 people, and then usually it will either take off or then people are just like, no, it was all right, but it wasn't that great, and so it kind of just subsided at like 3,000.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's how I felt about my last TikTok.
What was your last TikTok?
My last TikTok was the footage of me sitting behind home plate for
I
Chris
remember
Sale
that.
start.
I
I was doing the strikeouts.
Yeah.
That TikTok is, I mean, that's a million views. Should be. Should
What
be
is
a
it?
million views. Didn't quite get there. I think it got like 3,000.
Yeah. That's the thing about today. You just never know. Like
Never know.
My biggest TikToks, I have 3 over 1 million, and like I'm like that's what hit.
Yeah.
Like it took me 4 seconds to make this, and I just did it because I feel like I should post TikToks. It's the best place to grow right now, and so I did it. And then next thing you know, I wake up with like fucking 8,000 new followers, which I don't understand. I still don't understand it, but you just never know in TikTok. What a wonderful world.
Before we move on, who else didn't like me in that Clubhouse, Pat? Name names.
Who didn't like you in that clubhouse? I honestly gotta remember I was a rookie, so not many people were confiding in me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
heard
pretty
some shit,
sure.
didn't
I can confirm Buck was not a fan of yours.
No, neither was his wife.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that hard. He was a really nice guy. I don't think it would be that difficult to get him back on your side.
I thought I told you that story.
Oh, you do have him back, don't you?
Yeah. So
Like a golf cart or some shit.
I think it was last summer. Kevin Millar FaceTimed me, and I answered the FaceTime, and it was Clay Buchholz.
Oh my God.
And I apologized. I was like, hey, because I went to MLB Network in 2019, maybe. I think it was to like interview D-Row. And Millar was there. And me, Millar, and D-Row just went into like some side office and, just the boys being boys, sharing stories. And I told him, I was like, I know that because they live on the same street. It's Millar, Buchholz, Chris Bosch, Jake Arrieta, and John Lackey. That's like the cul-de-sac there. So I was like, your boy Buchholz. I was like, that's like a big regret of mine that I was kind of mean to him. And he was like, we'll fix that. Like, don't worry about it. And I was like, all right. Over a year went by. And then Millar FaceTimes me. I answer, and it's Clay Buchholz. And I apologized. I was like, hey, man. I was a dick when you were playing here. I was like, that's my bad. I was like, I had just started at Barstool. I was trying to be edgy, and maybe I was a little bit mean at times. Some of it was funny though. I was like, I'm not going to apologize for all of it. I was like, some of it was funny, but some of it was just mean. And then for the mean ones, I'm sorry. He was like, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. Like, we're good. So we are good. I haven't had the opportunity I haven't seen him in person. I haven't had the opportunity to get him on the podcast, but I think that's got to happen at some point.
If you saw him walking by, would you be scared to go up to him?
Nah, I'm not scared to go up to anybody. Garrett Cole was like 2 feet away from me in the dugout in Denver at the All-Star game. And if he wanted to like talk, I would have been like, yeah, sure. I'm not going to go up to, because I feel like at this point it would be lame for me to go up to Garrett Cole and initiate that conversation. I think that it would come off as like antagonizing him, or like trying to get a rise out of him. And like, that's not what I'm doing. Like, if I talk shit about Garrett Cole, it's to get a rise out of the internet. Like, I'm not going to try and like harass Garrett Cole in real life. But if he saw me and recognized me and said, like, I think you're a fucking asshole, like, and wanted to give me a piece of his mind, I wouldn't be like scared to have that conversation. It would be an interesting conversation because I think I would be honest with him. Like, if he was like, why are you such a fucking asshole to me? He'd be like, well, first of all, you fucking big baby bitch.
Great opener. Really
like,
diffuse the situation there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you fucking baby. You're the highest paid pitcher in baseball history. You got caught cheating. You were not well prepared to face the media after that happened.
For Pete's sake.
A lot. Like, I don't find you very likable. I just don't. Like, I would be honest in that conversation. And if he can handle that, great. Because I would be speaking the truth. Like, what if I said those things to him? What's he gonna say? Well, I don't whine. Yes, you do. A lot. You do. I didn't sound like an idiot when I got caught with my fucking pants down after the spider tag thing. Yeah, you did. It was a bad look. I wasn't cheating. Yes, you were. So it wouldn't be like a confrontation of like my opinion versus yours. It would just be like, here's why I don't like you. And here's 3 hard facts.
You'd give it an open dialogue.
Yeah. Be like, listen, I'm in the entertainment business. You're in the baseball business. You go out there and you baseball. I go out there and I entertain. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to like it. It's not for you. It's for the fans. And it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely guys that are still going to get that Clay Buchholz treatment where maybe I'm going to be a little mean. Maybe I'm going to cross a little line here and there. But now I'm just making sure that that individual deserves it instead of destroying a guy like Clay Buchholz, who apparently was very nice and very beloved in his clubhouse. So that's the difference. that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, I don't think there's. I mean, you've seen the video of me going up to Giancarlo Stanton and talking shit to him. Like I don't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. But what an interesting existence to have to be cautious about what you say about your. I guess not all favorite baseball players, but about Major League Baseball players. You have to be cognizant of what you say because they're probably going to see it. And if they see it, they're not going to like you. They're going to hold grudges for several years. But yeah, no fucking names, huh, Pat? Just fucking Clay Buchholz, which we already knew.
I don't remember you coming up a ton. Like, to me, like I said, no one's going to confide in me. I remember BJ being a big advocate for you towards me. I mean, I feel like Robbie Scott didn't like it, but I think that came from you though.
Yeah,
I knew that. I think I had already known you when that had transpired. He was a weird guy too.
He was a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he was like talk about negative Nancy. Oh my god, it's like some of these days you're like in the bullpen, like Robbie, can you shut the fuck up? Like, yeah, okay, you were a independent ball sign. This is what comes with that. You didn't get $1 million fucking out of the draft, so they're gonna call me up before you, all right, bud? Like, I don't know what to tell you. You're a guy that they're making throw from up here and down here and all over the fucking place because you gotta do something different in order to go to the big league. So it was just like self-awareness. Like, life's not fair. Fucking deal with it. But then every now and again, I'd have like a great time with him in the bullpen. So I don't fucking know with that guy, but I just remember you being controversial because you just weren't the normal type of media outlet that was gonna, like, you were gonna blast it out. You were getting bigger and bigger because people loved that new type of reporting. And then you had Dave behind you, who was a Boston guy and wanted to motherfuck anyone that kind of came after you. So it was a little scary. People were tentative. Like, I wouldn't. If you had come up to me, I didn't know you. You're never in the clubhouse. You're not trying to do live reporting. So, like, you were not in there asking questions. But if you were, I certainly would have been tentative in what I said to you.
Yeah, it's a different vibe these days. Now I'm friendly, Jared.
Yeah. I think more. I don't think people disliked you. I think people were just tentative about you. That's how I would describe myself about you prior to BJ standing up for you. I think that's all of Barstool. I think people are tentative about that because it seems like everyone's got free reign to say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Anyways, the Klark Ketchup Series MVP for the Houston Astros series. We have 4 voters this time around. Pat, do you know about the Klark's Ketchup MVP award?
No, actually, I was planning and I forgot midway through. Like, I remembered midway through. I meant to ask you guys what the fuck this is prior to starting the show today because I obviously missed it. This is new.
So, first of all, Klark's Ketchup is a proud sponsor. They sponsored Section 10. Now they're sponsoring the Name Redacted podcast. Hell of a ketchup. Drizzle that ketchup is the catchphrase.
Okay.
Klark's Ketchup.
Klark's.
Drizzle that ketchup. Yes. So the Klark's Ketchup MVP is the award that we give out after every series win. Has to be after a win. Can't be a split. And I don't care if someone goes 4 for 4 with 4 home runs in a series that the Red Sox get swept or they take 1 out of 3. Not eligible for the Klark's Ketchup Series MVP. Has to be a series win. Of which this is. The Red Sox took 2 out of 3 from the Houston Astros. So now we got to drizzle some ketchup. You know what? I'm going to start with Jake. Jake, who is your vote for the Clark's Ketchup MVP against the Houston Astros?
Yeah, well, coming into the game tonight, I had a few guys on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the game started going on, I mean, Bogarts hit a home run. Rafi had a triple and a double.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking those were two good candidates, but as we started getting deeper into the game, it became pretty clear that Nicky Smooches deserves it.
It's correct. Mm-hmm. It's a good pick. Tyler, your vote for the Clark's Ketchup Series MVP against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, I think Jake has it right. You know, Xander Bogaerts in a couple homers in the series. Rafael Devers did even get out. You know, cycle watch multiple times. JD Martinez getting in on it, but Nick Pivetta changed the tone today. It felt like that was if you're looking for a season-defining moment when the energy truly shifted, I felt like Nick Pivetta gave it to you, and you don't see complete games in baseball anymore. I think that's something that's not mentioned enough, and here he is. He joined the rank. I think it's the fourth one this year, so easy. Nicky Smooches.
Patrick, your vote for the Clark's Ketchup Series MVP?
Okay, so I could just go Nicky Smooches, which I'm still not familiar with why we were calling him that. But
I think it's because I believe his birthday is on Valentine's Day.
Okay, understood. I'm just gonna go different. I'm gonna go kind of off the wall here. I'm gonna go off the wall here because the easy choice and the popular choice is everyone's gonna say Nicky Smooches. That's the easy choice. I want to go a little off the wall here, and it's really off the wall because it's not even a player.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, this is gonna be headlines.
Okay.
I'm picking Alex Cora. And the reason I'm picking Alex Cora is one, he has led this team back from a shit April, along with Xander.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times in today's day and age have we seen that manager walk the fuck out there and take a guy out of the game when he's throwing an absolute gem? Or maybe not walk out to cut him after 8. I don't know if you guys, whoever was at the game, but the announcers were talking once he ended the 8th inning after like 103 pitches. They were like, well, what a performance. Great game. I wonder who's coming in the 9th.
Yeah. Well, so I was at the game, but I could also see, I had a TV that I could see while at the game.
Oh, yeah, in the usual spot.
And he went down into the clubhouse. So one of the ushers came over and was like, oh, wow, 8 innings. Like, that was awesome. And I was like, hold on. I was like, he's at 102, 103 pitches. I was like, this is a maybe. I was like, I didn't see any hugs. I didn't see any handshakes. But he did go down into the clubhouse. So I don't know what that means. So I'm going to say it's a maybe that he comes back out for the 9th. I didn't think he was coming back out. I mean, obviously you would look into the bullpen and see if anyone's warming up, and that's your indicator. But when he came back out for the 9th, I was like, oh boy, like this is something here. Take us into the, like, what does that mean? Like, he just completed 8 innings, 103 pitches, and then he went down into the clubhouse. Why?
It could be a number of reasons. One, most people, when you're watching a guy, him going straight into the clubhouse, unless he just had a horrendous start, it's not because he's coming out of the game. The common courtesy, especially with a young guy like Pivetta, you have to sit there for at least the team's at bat. Like when you guys are hitting, you have to stay there for at least in the half inning. You can't go into the clubhouse. And a lot of guys will stay from the guy that, like if you come out in the middle of an inning, you have to wait till the inning's finished, then you can leave.
Yep.
You can't just walk in there if you're just unless you're pissed about something and you're trying to release some energy. You're supposed to stay out there. So that didn't mean anything. He could be doing a number of things. I used to do it to stay loose later in the games when you're later in the season, like in Minnesota. My shoulder was tightening up on me. I would go straight into the clubhouse. Right between the clubhouse and the dugout, there was a batting cage, similar to the way Boston has it. And I would just go in there with a bucket of baseballs, and I would just constantly be throwing the entire in between innings, in between when my team's hitting, solely to keep my arm loose because my shoulder would tighten up a lot. So it could be a number. He could have went to take a piss. Who knows? But again, what I'm saying here is, although Pivetta finished the job in today's day, without Alex Cora being the guy that Alex Cora is, and if Pivetta played for a struggling Dodger team, Roberts is taking him out of the fucking game. I mean, we saw him take out Kershaw this year in a perfect game.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm giving it to Alex Cora is because he's the guy that starts and allows Pivetta to do that, which ultimately, like Jake and Tyler has said, it's a momentum swinger for the Red Sox in a way that listen, these starters got you. Now let's pick up in the bullpen, but it doesn't happen unless Alex Cora is the guy that Alex Cora is, has the confidence from the front office because of who he is, and is able to go out there and say, you know what? He's 103 pitches in mid-May. Not many guys go back out there after 103 pitches in mid-May. He's going back out there. He's going to finish the fucking job. So I'm giving it to Alex Cora.
You know
It's
what?
a great pick.
I love that pick because we saw Matt Strom and John Schreiber. Both of them were warming in the bullpen multiple times in those last two. And after the game, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Alex Cora said, he was like, you know, when Pivetta came down in the 8th inning, he walked by him and Dave Bush, not a single word. Cora said he was terrified of what Pivetta was going to do to him. He was like, I wasn't even going to test it. That tells you, that's feeling the tone of the game. And I think that's something at times this year we've even been critical of Alex Cora for. You know, pulling Michael Wacha maybe a little bit too early, especially, you know, some of those dominant starts to begin the year when the bullpen was already a little thin as it was. It felt like that it kind of shifted. And I think when we've seen the best of Alex Cora this year, it's when he's put his trust in those guys in those moments. Because, you know, when you do it to one guy, the other guys all, you know, it brings the team together. It's something you can say, hey, like, he believes in us.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so did you change your pick, Tyler?
Honestly, I want to almost go 50-50. Pat, that was a really thoughtful, and I really like the way he kind of approached it, because not that it destroys Nick Pivetta's day, you know, if he just goes 8 innings, but it really felt like that 9th inning, that complete game, it just put a different exclamation point on this entire series.
That's what I mean. I'm going Nick Pivetta. I love Pat's pick. I love the logic behind it. But ultimately, like I said at the top, Nick Pivetta throwing a complete game against the Houston Astros to win the series, it feels different. Like, you can say a win is a win. You know, we win 2-1 or we win fucking 17-2. A win is a win. That's not true. Like, you get Nick Pivetta to go out there and give you a ballsy ass complete game against that lineup. Yeah, that it feels different, and especially in the fact that it was in the rubber match where you won the series and you did it in that way. You feel much different going into this series against Seattle than if it was like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, we won like 5-1 and, you know, we had like 5 different pitchers.
You're in the middle of 10 games in 10 days.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality of the situation. You're going into Seattle with the fully rested bullpen tomorrow. You can go full go, however you want to go about it. And we've seen the Red Sox start series strong. It's usually finishing them. That's the problem. All right. You get, you know, your best foot in front of you tomorrow. You have your best chance to go and win that game. And your pitching has set itself up. Nick Pivetta gives you not only a win today, but a better chance at winning tomorrow. And, you know, starting a series strong where you need all the momentum you can get.
Yeah, and I think people also don't take into consideration enough how the crowd impacts these players and the momentum that it can provide. What they saw tonight was with the players, not the fans. What the players saw tonight from the crowd at Fenway Park, and Jared can speak more to it. I don't know if Jake and Tyler were at the game, but you know, this looking at this schedule, this might have been the first time that Fenway was electric this year. You know, having Pivetta go out in that 9th inning, I'm sure, and again, Jared can speak more to this, I'm sure you could feel a buzz in the crowd. I'm sure you walk out of that bullpen. We're still human beings down there. Like, I remember when David Ortiz hit a ball off the wall when I was out there against, he gave it the go-ahead run against the Yankees. I never thought I would feel that kind of electricity somewhere else in my life, and it took me 7 years to go to the Kentucky Derby to find that electricity again. You know, when you're walking in, like, you'll see guys, they're smiling, they're talking to you guys, like, that shit was fun. And it can build, it can do things. People get excited now instead of being a little tentative. If Brazier goes out or Matt Barnes that's struggling goes out, whoever we're playing next, and they go out and they have that excitement, they have a little more juice in them. If they can just get through that one and do well, you could see this bullpen go on a roll too, because they got some talented guys out there. This is one of the reasons why I hate you have to pitch 3 batters or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 minimum.
Because this is a part of managing a baseball team. You manage people's psychology. And, if Matt Barnes goes out there or, and gives you 2 good batters and we got a lefty coming up, it's the smart move to pull him out of the game. He had some fun. He got some juice in him. He did what his job was. And now you go put some lefty in there. Maybe another lefty might be struggling. He gets one guy. We move. So there's things here that they handcuff managers now with a lot of things that they can do because of the speed, pace of play, and all that bullshit. But there's a way to rally this team, and I think tonight did a great job of that, and that's why I picked Alex, because the psychology of this and helping your team build, it's huge.
Yeah. So the Klark's Ketchup Series MVP goes to Nick Pivetta with an honorable mention to Alex Cora.
Perfect.
I think Pat made a lot of great points. But Nick Pivetta putting the exclamation point on a series win against the Houston Astros, very big. It's late. People got shit to do. We've gone 2 hours. So let's fucking before we do the stop and shop look ahead, let's because maybe you want to go see the Seattle Mariners against the Boston Red Sox this weekend. Check it out with SeatGeek. All you got to do, check that SeatGeek app. Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? I'm having fun. But if not, then it's time to start using SeatGeek. I know when Pat comes to Fenway, we're going to be using SeatGeek to get him some tickets, the best tickets at the best prices. We're going to be using SeatGeek for that. And SeatGeek is so beloved by butts everywhere that they've made it the highest rated ticketing app. Whether it's concerts, baseball, basketball. I'm actually going to be going, I want to take my dad to a Celtics playoff game. I went to the Red Sox game with him on Monday. And I was like, Dad, would you ever, because he loves sports. He's not like, I would say if he were to power rank his favorite sports teams, he would pick the Patriots first, but like, he just lives and breathes Boston sports. I was like, would you want to go to a Celtics playoff game? And he was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Like, I would want to go. He's like, why, do you have like a ticket hookup? And I was like, no, like I want to get the tickets and we'll go. He's like, yeah, don't waste your money. They're expensive and don't spend money on something like that. I was like, but Dad, we can use fucking SeatGeek to get the tickets. Not only I'm going to use my own promo code, which is promo code Jared, Jared, but they also tell you where you can get the best seats. They rate every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good, red means bad. And again, Dad, that promo code is Jared, what you named me. Or maybe it was Mom, I don't know. I don't know what the pecking order was there in terms of naming rights. I'm sure you had some say in it. But you can get $20 off your first purchase with the promo code Jared at SeatGeek.com. Or you can just download the SeatGeek app, which I'm sure he's not going to be able to do. I mean, trying to get him to find the fucking stream on Twitch last night, I'm sure that was like explaining rocket science. Shout out to my mom for being able to set him up with that. But he was locked in. I mean, he loves Lou Merlone. So he's locked in for all 3 hours. But you can, again, promo code Jared, SeatGeek.com, or download the SeatGeek app. That is promo code Jared for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, get your seat in a seat. Download the app today. But before we get out of here, the Stop and Shop Look Ahead, brought to you by motherfucking Stop and Shop. What a place to get your groceries. It's a 4-game set. Starts Thursday. Maybe you're listening to this on Thursday. Appreciate you listening on the first day of availability for this podcast. Looks like we got Rich Hill versus George Kirby.
Scary.
Michael Walker's back against Robbie Regression Ray. Garrett Whitlock versus Chris Flexen. And Nathan Evaldi versus Logan Gilbert. George Kirby, 1-0 with a 0.90 ERA with a 0.80 whip. He's a rookie. He's only made 2 starts, 10 innings total. He's only allowed 1 earned run and has 8 strikeouts. His debut was 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, and a dub. 4 seam sits about 96. 6 of his 8 strikeouts on the heater, 4 seam. 30% whiff rate on the fastball, which is very high for a fastball. His slider is his number 2 pitch, but he's allowed 4 of his 7 hits on his slider and only a 10% whiff rate on that. The Mariners are 1-1 in those starts. He's obviously never faced the Red Sox. Robbie Ray. He's got a 4.62. Not great. A 1.19 whip. And, the 9.2 strikeouts per 9, pretty solid. He pitched into the 6th in 6 of his 7 starts, and he's completed 5+. His last start was against the Mets, right? Yeah. 5+ innings in every outing so far. Walks have been an issue. He's allowed 7 home runs, which Nathan Eovaldi has made look like a small number, but 7, it's not ideal. He doesn't really use his curveball anymore and his changeup. He's tossed those, so it's 4-seam, slider. Mariners are 5-3 in his starts, and they've won his last 2. Who to look out for in this game? Fucking Kike's got 3 doubles, 5 homers. Jesus. Kike has 5 homers against Robbie Ray. He's got a 961 OPS against them. Trevor Story has 3 homers. And then the Weck dog, the fucking heartbeat of the Boston Red Sox, is 5 for 11 with a ding dong and a double. 1357 OPS against Robbie Ray. Then you got Chris Flexen, 4.35 ERA. He's allowed 6+ base runners in 6 out of his 7 starts this year. He's allowed a home run in 3 straight starts, including 2 homers in each of his last 2 starts. And here's the kicker, folks. The Seattle Mariners are 1-6 when this motherfucker takes the mound. And he gets, that's more of a run support issue. He gets 1.02 runs of support per start. That's almost impossible. That is almost impossible. Fucking Logan Gilbert, 4-2 with a 240. He's completed 5 innings in every start this year. Okay. Walks have been an issue for him as well. 15 walks in his last 5 starts. None of his pitches have a whiff rate over 30%, but none have a whiff rate below 22%. The Mariners are 5-3 when Mr. Gilbert takes the mound. Red Sox hitters, small sample size, 3 for 16 as a team. The 1 double belongs to Xander Bogaerts. Okay. Predictions time. 4-game series at Fenway Park against the Seattle Mariners. You know what, Pat? I'm going to start with you, Mr. The King of Predictions.
Geez. You know what? I'm down between us taking 3 and us sweeping.
Ooh, wow. I did not expect that.
No split in mind.
No split in mind. Not in my book. I'm not high on the Seattle Mariners. I know Jared likes to call them America's team, but I absolutely hated playing in that organization. So that's for one reason. But I don't think they're that good. And I think the Red Sox are considerably better of a ball club than what they've shown as far as a record is concerned. The staff is fantastic for Boston. Our lineup is coming along. I'm going to say 3 out of 4 because I just don't think we're quite there yet. I just don't think. Well, I think we'll get there. I think if the same question happened to me in August, I think I'd probably pick sweep. But I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we might have a blunder along a 4-game set. It's a long set. So I think we have 3 out of 4. If we get a little luck, though, and when we are blundering, I think there's a real chance of a sweep here.
Okay. Jake, what do you got?
I feel like this is the most positive podcast we've probably had all year since the start of the year. So I'm gonna end the negativity. I don't care whatever stupid rule I put on myself about the sweep. We're switching it up. I'm going Sox in a sweep.
Sox in a sweep. Jake wants all 4. Okay, so we got 3 out of 4. We got a 4-game sweep. And then Tyler, what do we got from you?
I'm not as bold as Jake. I'm more in the Pat Light camp. I am going to go 3 out of 4 here. Logan Gilbert and George Kirby do scare me a lot. But I think bullpens are going to play a really big part in this. The Mariners bullpen has been a pretty big disaster for them, to start this year. I think the Red Sox bullpen, despite having some ugly moments, they've been put in some bad spots by the offense here and there, but they're coming in rested to this series. I think you're going to see that play up. You got a couple of your best starters in Nate Eovaldi and Garrett Whitlock making starts. The return of Michael Wacha. There's a lot going the Red Sox way right now. And we saw they finally, after trailing after 6 innings, I think they were 0-13 before the first game against the Astros. So they've broken that trend. I think we see it broken again. And little NL West old-fashioned love against Robbie Ray. Kike and Trevor Story continue to heat up as we've seen.
I like that. Like that a lot. You know what? I'm going to ride the wave. I'm going to ride the wave, and I'm going to go 3 out of 4. I got the Red Sox taking 3 out of 4 in the series. It's what I felt before I asked any of these fine gentlemen what their feelings were about this. And then I felt even more confident as each prediction went on. I'm feeling good about 3 out of 4. And that's not a feeling that I think I've had since last year. Being confident in picking the Red Sox actually winning a series. Even though, Jake, again, I did correctly predict 2 out of 3 against the Houston Astros. I did do that. But I've got 3 out of 4 against America's team, our Seattle Mariners. I'm excited. I'll be there on Friday. Tyler, you going to any games?
I am not.
What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Why don't you go?
This weekend? I do work this weekend. The Sports Hub has called my card.
On Friday night?
No, on Sunday.
So you could go on Friday, is what you're saying?
Theoretically.
Why don't you come on down to Funky Town?
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
I think I might just have to.
Yeah, why don't you come on by?
I want to, it's about time I see some Julio Rodriguez in action, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
I need to experience that.
Who, what's that? That's fucking Walker Ray? That's a good game. That's a good matchup right there.
The return of Michael Wacha.
Yeah. Jake, you coming this weekend?
I don't have tickets yet, but I usually decide the day of when I go, so never know what could happen.
All right, if you know what? If you want to come on Friday, if both of you want to come on Friday, you let me know. I'll fucking pull up my goddamn SeatGeek app. I'll get the tickets. I'd love to take you guys.
Our butts can have some fun.
Let's have some fun with our butts.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Pat, I would invite you, but you live in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I don't think you're going to come this weekend.
Make the drive, Pat.
I can't. I don't. I have things I have to do this weekend.
What do you got to do this weekend?
Life's a choice.
Yeah, what you got to do?
I got stuff.
What do you got to do this weekend, Pat? You going on a date?
No. No, I'm not going on a date.
What are you doing that's so important that you can't just fucking say it?
I got dinners, man. I got things I got to do.
You have a lot of important dinners.
You have
I like respect.
It's pretty much all I do.
Yeah.
I go on dinners and I try to buy things from people.
What's the dinner on Friday? What are you trying to buy?
Real estate.
Okay, where you buying it? What location?
Hoboken? Yeah, 10 buildings.
Wow.
10 buildings?
Mm-hmm. I have no idea I'm going to pull it off, but they don't listen to this podcast, so they don't want to.
You're trying to buy 10 buildings on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Well, that won't happen on Friday.
Yeah.
It just that's part of the deal. And we're going to continue the conversation.
I'm just trying to buy some fucking vodka lemonades on Friday.
I want a fucking bar on Lansdowne. Is that so much to ask for?
No, I don't think it is. I think that
if you know an owner on a bar in Lansdowne, they possibly want to sell. Can you please tell me? That's all I want to do.
Didn't we come into contact with someone that said that they could help out with that, and then I CC'd you?
Lansdowne? No, it wasn't Lansdowne Street.
Oh, what was it?
That was
Boylston?
something else, and it was going to be tremendously difficult.
Okay.
And expensive, and not on brand.
Why don't we just walk into a bar on Lansdowne and say, "Hey, we're the new owners here."
Yeah, that would work.
I mean,
Pat.
it can't hurt.
With your new contract, what are they going to say to you?
That's true.
Yeah, I make
I'll just
$50 million
rope it into the
a
contract.
year.
I'll just rope it into the contract. I tell John Henry I have to have a bar.
You listening,
instead
Heim?
of owning a piece of the team, you own a bar on Lansdowne Street.
No, I want both.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're not trading a piece of the Boston Red Sox to own a bar. I promise you that.
Well, what if your percentage of ownership of the Boston Red Sox is less profitable than this bar on Lansdowne Street could potentially be?
I mean, I'd have to have a very, very small percentage, and I would never accept that. Right now, Scott has positioned himself that I become the majority stakeholder of the Red Sox.
I think you owning the Red Sox would be what a true marking of a dawning of a new era.
Oh my goodness, the Red Sox are fun now, guys. You don't understand the things that I would do in Fenway. It'd be a great fucking time.
What would you add to Fenway?
You know what I really like? I don't know if they do them at Fenway. I don't think that they do. You know the lights at Yankee Stadium when they hit a home run and they just like flash a bunch.
Yeah.
It's like I think every ballpark should have that.
Something like it.
I'd like to float the slide in Milwaukee. Can we get Wally doing something like that?
Yeah.
You know
There should be
pretty
fireworks. Why the fuck don't we have fireworks?
That's probably a city thing. That's probably not Fenway.
No, they can do it. They did it on opening night. Opening day was at night in 2010. And it's the only fucking time that Fenway Park ever used fireworks. Why don't you do it all the time?
I bet you there's a rule. I bet you they got special permission for that day.
I'm going to go down to the fucking city hall and be like, listen, Fenway Park, we're blowing up these fireworks for homers.
So when I come up to Boston, so Hoboken and New York are very liberal places.
Mm-hmm.
And if you looked at my political contributions, you'd think I'm a very liberal person as well. And when we come up to Boston, that's we're trying to connect with the mayor, see if he's could help me out.
Isn't it a woman?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I think
I just
she
said the
follows
mayor,
me
I
on
didn't say-
Twitter. I can put you guys in touch.
Yeah, I'd love to sit down.
Yeah, Mayor of Boston, I believe, is
She well liked.
Michelle? No. Bad miss. Take over, Jared.
No.
Not speaking
Yeah.
on her likability. I'm speaking on her name.
Is she likable? Did people like her?
I don't
I mean, she
know
got
anything
elected.
about her.
Not a politic guy.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
a big politics guy, so I can't really speak to
She got
what-
elected.
Huh?
She got elected.
She got elected.
I love when people say like, "Oh, this person's not well liked." I'm like, "Well, you put her in there.
Yeah.
Just some people have to like her."
Yeah. I couldn't tell you why people don't. Well, I mean, I think it's probably like COVID stuff.
What's her name?
Michelle?
Oh, okay. So I was right about the Michelle.
About the Michelle.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
got
see.
anything.
I'm
Yeah.
going to Google mayor of Boston.
I think it begins with a W.
Michelle Wu.
Boom.
Woo, yeah. Yeah. Never mind.
Michelle
That's what I
Wu.
was gonna say.
Let's see. Michelle Wu. Twitter. Let's see.
Just slide in the DMs, Pat.
I'm gonna.
I'm looking her up right now.
Yeah, she fucking follows me on Twitter. That's cool.
WHU or WU?
WU.
So you guys are best friends.
Oh, she does not follow me. She follows a tremendous amount of people, and she definitely does not do her own Twitter.
All right, relax. She could.
No, it's fine though. Her.
What do you mean she doesn't do her own Twitter? It's just a bunch of retweets. Why couldn't she retweet things?
I don't think there is a politician out there other than Donald Trump that does their own Twitter.
No, she definitely does her own Twitter.
I bet you she tweets certain things, but like I've met a good amount of politicians in my day, and not one of them has ever used it themselves.
She's young though.
Yeah, but they have a team that drafts things for them.
Yeah, like a social media PR manager kind of thing.
She doesn't get to send things out without them doing it.
She's
Like,
37. You think she doesn't fucking manage her own Twitter?
No, guaranteed she doesn't.
I'm in the Pat camp on this.
Yeah, I guarantee she has a team that does it for her.
There's one of her most recent tweets is a selfie heading to represent Boston at Joe Biden at Kamala Harris first ever AANHPI Heritage Month event at the White House.
I bet you someone came up to her and said, "Hey, take a selfie. This would be great, and we'll draft it. Are you okay with this?" They'll show it to her. She'll say yes, and then they send it.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm telling you, man.
Do you have an inside source, Jared?
Yeah, she follows me.
Oh, best
She
friends.
also follows 23,000 people.
All right, but do you think that she follows me because of my banger tweets? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what are we talking about here?
I'm not saying she doesn't have access to her Twitter. I'm saying that someone else runs it.
Well, I'm going to ask her because we are very close.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask her publicly, she's going to say yes, she does. But like, if we all go grab drinks at a bar, I should be like, oh no, I have a media manager or a PR person that does it.
Yeah. Well, that's not something that you could ask her because you don't have a direct line to her like I do.
It's fair.
Let me put in a word for you, and we'll figure it out.
Okay. Thanks.
Me and the Woo Train.
The Woo Train.
I think
Woo
that's
woo.
her. Woo woo. That's her. I'm pretty sure that's her. Her Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, it is at
Yeah.
Woo Train.
Woo Train. Yeah. Yeah. I'll hit her up, see what she's thinking, and we'll take it offline. We'll sync.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. So,
What were we talking about?
I think you wanted to like buy like the city of Boston or something?
Yeah. Mhm.
You wanted to like develop a monopoly in the city of Boston?
First,
I certainly do.
yes, first owner / player.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You want to own the fucking Boston Red Sox and all the bars around it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to Michelle.
Woo Train.
Woo Train. Yep. All right. Enjoy your weekend. This 4-game series with the Seattle Mariners. And again, just a reminder, don't say it. We're all thinking it, but don't say it. And Jake's takes.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to all the people who came down behind home plate during the rain delay. Like that's always my favorite thing. Every time there's an hour and a half rain delay, everyone from the bleachers gets to come and you see the real diehard fans behind home. So keep doing that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that a lot. Yeah, I was a big rain delay guy. My dad dipped. He was like, you know what? It's almost fucking 10:30. See you later. Left. Fine, I'll go down with the ship. Big win for the Sox. People didn't see it coming. And they're not going to see it coming either. On June 28th. On June 28th. Not a day sooner, not a day later. And that's when we can acknowledge what's going on here. All right. I guess I'll see both Tyler and Jake at Fenway on Friday.
Correct.
Let's do it.
I believe Jake. I'm not sure I believe Tyler yet.
Wow. Low blow.
The way you said it was like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. What do you mean? Give me a percentage.
Like 73.
That's not good enough.
That's pretty good.
You're going to have to get up to 81 by the end of Thursday.
Okay. Let me speak with the girlfriend and we can go from there.
Oh, humble brag. Has a girlfriend.
Yeah, I have sex. What can I say?
Yeah, you do. Pat, what about you? You
What?
fucking? You fucking this weekend, huh?
Of course.
Yeah, you are. Good for you.
I
All
can't
right.
remember last weekend I didn't have sex.
You didn't have sex last weekend?
I can't remember a time that like a weekend that I did not have sex. Happens every fucking weekend.
Nice.
It happens every fucking weekend.
Every single one.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration.
A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, you're. What a line! What a line to send us out. All right, we'll see you on Sunday.
Buenas noches, amigos.